it's kind of crazy. Once baseball season ends and we're fully into football and hockey, the snow falls. It's like Mother Nature has a brain. Hello and welcome back to The House That Happens. Sponsored by Shuey's Bar and Grill, the only place to be in suburban Etobicoke. Voted 4 times the best dive bar in all the GTA. It's number 1 in our hearts. The Phoenix rising from the ashes. Hello, I'm Andrew Milani.
Hi, my name's Cruz. How you doing, buddy?
Good. We are once again in Cruz's Chaos. The night after a little bit of chaos.
Chaos is good sometimes. I want to shout out to all the boys that were here last night. Do I remember everyone's name?
Well, you can try.
No, not a chance.
Well, you know Steven.
Yeah, I know Steven, Marco.
Yep.
The guy that was sitting beside me, I forget his name.
Rob.
He looks so... Rob, if you're listening, I'm still going. Where do I know you from? He's so damn familiar. And I want to keep bringing it up. I just kept looking at this guy going, we crossed paths. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. I don't know. But because of the age and knowing my boys and some of the activities we could have been out there, I was jumping on. I love the Metallica shirt coming in.
From Marco, yeah.
I love.
And don't forget Marco Antonio.
And yes, and you guys were all great. Just in case you're interested, my wife could hear you guys talking a bit. She thought you were an extremely polite crowd. Not only that, she said your parents should be commended for making you guys such good gentlemen. I said I've only seen them once, so I don't really know how much a gentleman they are, but I'll take your word for it, dear. How's that? You know what I mean? I trust my wife. You know what I mean? Anyways, as I said, I hope it's the first, not the last time that we have this get together. So guys, if you're hearing, we'll probably have a Christmas get together or something like that, but we're going to do this more than once.
Absolutely.
I got it.
And please give us a like, please comment, and please subscribe. It really helps us out. And as always, we will begin with shout-outs.
That's true. Okay, now I don't have a lot of shout-outs today, but I was telling the guys last night, if you know this, there's certain things that you watch on TV all the time, and I want to shout out to this to anybody. It's more of a life thing, even more of a sports thing. But if you know Nick Saban, former coach of Alabama and former coach of LSU, 7-time national champion, who basically got out of the game because he knew NIL was going to not have the control he used to.
Oh, yeah.
So he bailed out. He goes, I'm not playing this game. I'm too old. But the thing about Nick Saban coming on all the time is the fact that the life lessons that he puts forth when he's doing his little diatribe every week on the McAfee show, to me, is much watch. It's like almost a guarantee due to the fact that not just because he's Nick Saban and he's had his career as a coach, it's the life-affirming things that he likes to bring up that you should value in life, not just as a human football player, but as a human being. And I'm absolutely fascinated. Sometimes I record it. I might see it for 2 days. I will just go to the segment to see Nick Saban because I guess in his old age with all his money and all that kind of stuff that he's got the right to say what he wants. But, sure. I mean, it's life lessons that he's teaching. And anytime you got a man of that level coming on TV and giving you life lessons in coordination with the value of team sports, I'm over the moon about the guy. Please check him out.
And we will. A few shout-outs related to women's sports. So,
yes.
First of all, Toronto Tempo finally made their coaching hire. Former New York Liberty and Phoenix Mercury coach Sandy Brondello hired as the inaugural head coach of the Tempo. 2-time WNBA champion as a coach. Pretty big news for the Tempo.
What's your take on it?
I mean, it sounds like that they might have just got a steal here.
Yes and no. Now, I'm not going to go into her closet because there's reasons why she's not a coach anymore, but I'm saying this as a brand new franchise with her resume and the way that she wants to coach a team, I'm thinking it's going to be good for Toronto.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Establish a foundation, establish the most overused word in sports, which is culture. But I mean, I think what she's going to do is she's going to come in and establish a... what would you say? A type of play. The Raptors going to, like you see.
The tempo, yeah.
Yeah. It's the way she's going to, I mean, not the Raptor, the tempo, exactly. I think she's going to come in and introduce a system and hit with it, and hopefully we'll be as good as Seattle was in their first year.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about, whatever, culture being an overused word, but you do want to kind of build up that winning culture, just the kind of the expectation, keeping everyone accountable. And just kind of keep that baseline going for when, because first year, like, how good are the Tempo really going to be?
You never know. Look at Seattle. They made
Golden
the
State,
playoff.
you mean?
I mean, Golden State, yeah.
Okay, but even then, they just slipped in, and then they got their asses kicked first round. But that's for an expansion team, that's pretty good.
The fans were excited.
There you go.
Huge when they got knocked out. The fans gave them, have you seen the ovation of the fans gave the team? Like, it was like they won the championship. So I respect the fact that they got that far in their first season. And this coach could be the one that sets a trail that maybe we're not going to make the playoff, but I really think that you're going to see the Tempo have a style of play that will identify with, which will be her freaking stamp on the team, which is what you got to do when you have a new team. You know what I mean?
Just don't be, 1977 Blue Jays. Don't be 92 Ottawa Senators,
She has a reputation for having a reputation.
Well, we'll see.
And I'm glad that she's here. Yeah. That's how I'm looking at it.
Sounds a little bit like innuendo, though.
So I'm going to get her. I want to take her on her resume, and I'm going to take her on the fact that she's going to be the first tempo coach, and I'm going to respect the fact that I think she's going to lead this team in the right direction.
There we go. Another one related to women's sports. The Vancouver and Seattle PWHL teams just announced their nicknames, so it will be the Vancouver Golden Eyes and the Seattle Torrent.
What?
Golden Eyes is pretty cool.
I don't mind that, but Seattle, come on.
Seattle Torrent, I should have looked into it.
It has something to do with, all the water around them, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's like torrential downpour.
Whatever. I don't know.
I don't know. It's very Seattle, though.
Very. Look what do you have. We got the Seattle Sounders, which is another thing about the water. Then the Seahawks, which were indigenous to their area. So
Mariners, of course.
Mariners. Just keep adding it up, which is kind of cool. It just sounded weird when I heard it.
It does sound a little weird. But Torrents also reminds me of a different vintage than you. Like Torrents remind me of like going on LimeWire downloading music back in the day.
Right. Forgot all about that. Can't forget those old school ways that we got what we wanted. You know what I mean?
Hey, and I won't go into the piracy thing, but whatever. Any more shout outs you want to get to?
I want to just shout out to my good buddy Serge. I know that you guys, you do always
the proprietor.
The proprietor that's here. If I get one more person asking me on the street when Shoey's is going to be open, be a little bit patient, people.
I have friends asking me about that.
Okay, well, let's be a little bit patient. So, Serge, I'm not going to say there's a grand opening date or anything like that, but let's just put it this way. Progress is being made, and perhaps maybe we're going to be going in there to watch a game sooner than later. So I want to shout out for Serge for working so hard to get it open, but everybody have patience so we get there and we'll all have a good time.
So, I don't know if you know the company id. They made like Doom, like Wolfenstein, like those games, Quake in the 90s. So their big thing was they didn't like putting release dates on games that they didn't know, so their release date would just be when it's done.
Serge, when it's done.
There we go. That's what it kind of reminded me of.
Kind of missed him last week, Serge, if you're listening. He said, come on out to Chuck's for a beer. I didn't know it was Chuck's. It was another bar that was way downtown, so I was grabbing Gail to go, and then when I found out where it was, I said,
forget it.
I'm not going that far, so sorry, Serge.
Big shout out to the Hockey Hall of Famers this Monday.
Yes.
Zdeno Chara, Duncan Keith, Alex McGillney, Joe Thornton, Jennifer Botterill, Brianna Decker, Danielle Savino, and Jack Parker.
If you take the resumes of all those people, and I looked at the end, the Jack Parkers and stuff, and all their contributions.
Huge college resume.
Oh, I went, wow. Okay, we know the big name NHL guys, but peel back the onion on like that guy. The college guy, and you go, wow, what everybody I thought this year had a resume that said Hall of Fame.
I'm a little surprised it took Savino this long to get in.
Especially when I exactly like when I seen when they were pouring it and they put it on
because she was the one that got Canada the first gold for Olympic women's hockey, so I don't know.
And how long ago was that?
2002.
Congratulations to each and every one of them going in there. I like watching the ceremony a bit. I just want to say that. Did you catch the little meme of Joe Thornton when they ask him what it's like going into the Hall of Fame?
No.
Oh,
I can't wait to see his speech.
Oh, I can't either. What he just had to say. Of course, I'm not going to say it here because I'm not a big swearing guy. But the joy,
you're not until
voice,
you are.
Yeah, exactly. But the way Joe said it, it was typical Joe in a good way. And first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt.
There you go.
No doubt. Congratulations to everybody.
Any more shout-outs for you? I got two more.
Go ahead.
So one is for Liv Tour going to 72 holes.
Finally. Good bring up.
It's kind of funny, though, because Liv is Roman numerals for 54. So are they going to change that now, or how's that going to work?
Where's all that money go to new marketing? The Saudis got it. They'll pay for it. They don't give a damn.
I just thought that was a little ironic.
Really?
But they're keeping the shorts. They're keeping the AC/DC.
Yes.
So they're keeping the teams, the Crushers. And I have an anti-shout-out this week. Jason Kelsey insulting the great country of Canada and baseball, for that matter. One of the dumbest rants I've ever seen in my life. Oh, why didn't you watch the World Series? Oh, it's a team from Canada versus a team that paid for it. First of all, fuck you for dissing Canada. Second of all, isn't that how sports work? You're supposed to pay for the best roster.
Then he didn't even realize that the roster that the Toronto Blue Jays have is right up there. He was trying to talk to us. He almost sounded like we were a ghetto team getting in. That's the part that pissed me off. Jason Kelce's very good at what he does, so he should stay in his lane.
Oh, exactly.
That's what I thought. You know what I mean? I mean, God bless America and all you things you do for the military. But to come off with a rant like that, hey, buddy, come on up here for a weekend. We'll take you around. And, Jason, why don't you talk to all the people in the media and all the Americans that came up here and spent time during the World Series and ask them their opinion of what they think about coming to Toronto and the team, the Toronto Blue Jays. I think you'd get a little bit more on this side of the fence than his.
Thank you very much.
You know what I mean?
Every other baseball guy is like saying this was like one of the greatest World Series. It was like great for baseball ever. I don't know. And then he came out with a phony apology the other day. He's like, oh, no, I actually love Canada. That's not what I meant. He threw like the social media team for his podcast under the bus. Get the fuck out of here, Jason. Listen, I liked you, man. I do
too, and I think he's going to be maybe a second or third ballot Hall of Famer. But was this?
Yeah, he's going to go in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the bottom line was, you looking for clicks on your New Heights podcast? Like you need more clicks, buddy. We love what you say, and I sometimes think he's very funny and he's very informative when he's in his lane.
Yeah,
he's way out of his lane. Baseball sucks, buddy. Stop it. Did you watch?
Well, what was I saying last night? I think baseball is going to pass the NBA in popularity soon.
Thank you very much. You know what? I know football is the most popular sport in the world, but when you say baseball sucks, Jason, can you come back and give me some commentary on the Thursday night game that we just seen? And what did you call that? Who's sucking now?
Man, I wish that every NFL game was a winner.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
I wish.
No kidding.
Any other shout-outs you want to add?
I think that we should have one more shout-out, and I'm going to screw up her name. Our Canadian female tennis championship won the first championship over in Asia this year. Mboko. So remember when she lost right away in the U.S. Open, and I said to myself, hey, that's just too much too soon for a young person, a little bit overwhelmed, and here we are. But she had the talent to be, we're going to see in the future. I think she's going to be good. To start off the season over there winning the tournament lets us know that women's Canadian tennis could have a very good year this year. Congratulations to her.
Well, there goes Indy's chance at more points at the end of the half.
Yep.
That's it for shout-outs?
That's it there.
All right, then. We'll move this on to, well, it's the one that's stealing all the headlines, at least up until, well, the Super Bowl, the NFL. And we will begin with our Week 10 edition of the Power Rankings. I'll begin if you need a sec.
I think that what we should do is maybe do a quick rundown, because maybe it'll help to solidify the reasons of your power ranking.
Let's just do the power rankings first, and then we can...
Okay, go ahead.
So, number 5, they were not in my rankings last week. I got the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, I had them last week.
I did not.
Okay.
Number 4, they were number 5 on my list last week, the New England Patriots.
Biased.
Holding for, well, yeah, you show no bias on the show, right?
A little.
Number 3, holding firm. They were in the same spot last week, the Indianapolis Colts, with a big trade, which we will mention also. Mm-hmm. Holding at number 2, the Detroit Lions.
Thank you.
And still number 1, they're not in a playoff spot, but I could not take them off the Kansas City Chiefs.
Very interesting, because I have a different take on the power rankings than you, and I'd still think that the Kansas City is a serious team to go to the Super Bowl, but I have certain rules and regulations when I go about my power rankings. If you're not currently in a playoff position, I can no longer make you a team that's in my top 5.
Hold on, though. You said Kansas City, you were not taking them off unless they lost 3 games in a row.
Listen, I went to confession. I said, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. And you just can't do it. I think Kansas City will probably be there after this week when they win, which I believe they're going to do, or is it their bye week? In any event, when they do play again, they will win. My point is this.
I think it is their bye week.
You really can't put anybody in the power rankings, in my opinion, if they're not in the playoffs. Do I think they're going to be in the playoffs and nobody wants to play them? I will say that 100%. But right now, I can't put them in my top 5.
They're still, I would still pick them to win the division, though.
100%.
Because they still got to play Denver twice, right?
There you go.
Chargers once more?
Yes, and they got one more against the Raiders. So my point is they're still 3 games behind. So I'm going to say they're going to get there, but right now I can't put them in my power rankings. So I will start with my number 5 in the power rankings, okay? Number 5, I'm going to put my beloved Detroit Lions, even though they lost to Minnesota, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Number 4, I'm going to put to the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, because I thought, okay, shit happened, but they're going to be fine. Because I think they were playing on a track, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Number 3, I'm going to put the Seattle, the Seahawks. I believe they're going to be there. Number 2, and have you seen them play? And have you missed my boy? And if you can see the shirt that I'm wearing, even though he's on a different team at the time, the number 2 team in my power rankings is the Los Angeles Rams.
Wait, Stafford didn't wear 20. What? Is that a Stafford shirt?
I thought it was. It's my Sanders shirt. I got so many. I was going to say whoever at the top. I got my Detroit shirts, There's a stack of them. I just keep taking the top one. I thought I had the Stafford. Sorry, Barry. I wish it was Sims too, but that's another story. And I'm going to surprise you because right now, when I've looked at things this week and how it's going on, number 1 team in my power rankings is the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I just think they stubbed their toes and they went inside and they recalibrated what they're doing. Look at their record, 6-2, and they're going to win their division.
Depending on how things go against Green Bay, they're probably going to be in my power rankings next week.
I think they're going to be, and I can't put Green Bay in my power rankings due to the fact that,
they keep losing stupid games.
You know what I'm saying? So
that doesn't bode well for them in the playoffs.
So when you actually look at our power rankings, they're just not very compatible at the moment, even though
they are and they're not.
And they're not. I'm just saying, but you know why? It's outside the edges that we got to look at. Because they're going to be sliding in. Which gives me, are we done with our power rankings?
Yeah, so we got Cruz's condensed rundown of Week 9.
We're going to try this really quick, so we can all get
I'm going to chip in with a note or two if I have any.
Yes, you do on the way. So what you got to do is every week we go, what happens in the NFL? We just had the week before. We never got the opportunity to say it was the worst week in football since 1970 when you have a slate of over 8 games.
In what way?
Everyone got blown out of the water.
Okay, there you go.
1-1 score game. Now, did it change last week? But we'll go really quickly so you can identify what really goes on in the NFL.
And it was the week where finally the underdogs were covering.
Thank you very much. And it's been happening a little bit more.
Didn't bode well for our picks.
No. So let's just start off. We go the week. Do we really have to mention the Baltimore-Miami game? No. We went down there and Lamar Jackson came back. They brought in
Had a great game.
Had a great game. Not only that, they switched a guy on their defense. They changed their scheme, and Miami looked horrible after playing a couple good games. But to crush them in there, Miami is nothing we should talk about anymore. And Baltimore will be around, and I expect them to be in my power rankings within a month. Second of all, we got 2 teams here that I'm thinking are extremely fraudulent, and we've seen it on Thursday night, but last week. But how the Denver Broncos beat Texas in Texas last week. Houston last week blew my mind. Sorry about C.J. Stroud, who took a terrible shot.
Oh.
And he's out on concussion protocol, which is really, really sad. But the bottom line is that's a game that wasn't even worth watching because both teams are running around in the mud. And I think that the Denver Broncos are the most fraudulent 8-2 team I've ever seen in the history of football.
I can't believe they're 8-2.
I can't either, but they shouldn't even beat Houston. The game was sloppy and ugly. I think
it's the offense that's fraudulent, though. We should put that out there.
Their defense is off the charts. Yeah. That's what they're there. But I really think Bo Nix needs some work, but that's another story going to the next game.
Tim Tebow 2.0?
Not yet, but he could throw better than Tebow.
That's the joke, though.
The next game here should be natural. After Scadaboo was out, San Francisco went into the Giants, and everybody was real. I'm not saying San Francisco is one of the best teams in the league, but they've got a pretty damn good record right now. I think they're a little bit of smoke and mirrors myself personally, but to go into the Giant Stadium and kick their ass, everyone should have known that. If you took them, you probably got the cover, which is just telling me San Francisco's a team we're going to look at. Giants, I've already wiped them off the slate. Next game I found very interesting. The Colts finally lost from their 7-1 record, went to 7-2 in Pittsburgh.
I'm mad I didn't pick Pittsburgh for this game because this is like Pittsburgh. This is like the trademark, like Pittsburgh winning the game that they shouldn't win, but they do.
Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, number one, I think the Colts had 6 turnovers. Okay,
yes.
6 turnovers. They lost by 1 score. They actually had more yardage than Pittsburgh, so I'm going to put in something that people got to realize. And this
much more yardage.
Yes, you see, look at all the stats. If you just looked at the stats on the side, except for the turnovers, you'd say, hey, why didn't the Colts win this game?
Well, and Pittsburgh was doing a good job getting to Daniel Jones, too. 5 sacks, right?
Okay, so the number one thing is I'm going to say this. Where does Indianapolis play? In the Loud House. Isn't that a comfortable environment inside?
It's a dome.
Did you know that they're saying now that the Pittsburgh Steelers floor could be one of the worst turfs in the NFL to play on.
I've heard that.
So when you got guys that are usually playing on a fast track, and
Well, that's been the thing for years, though.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I'm giving Steelers the credit for holding on for dear life because Baltimore's coming up your ass. But Indianapolis, this is a blip in the road, I believe, except for what we're watching this morning. Right now, we'll have to see how this is going to come out.
Well, that's a European game. Those are always kind of wild cards.
There you go. So I'm still going to keep Indianapolis in high esteem. Pittsburgh, you better stay on that gerbil track because your defense showed up now, but your offense is just enough. Aaron Rodgers is not playing bad, but they're not like no high-powered offenses like they're going to be. So let's keep our eyes on Pittsburgh. No problems with Indiana. Now let's go to the next game, which I thought was one of the worst games of the week, and why people keep telling me Green Bay is a Super Bowl contender. When you let the Carolina Panthers come into your house and bitch slap you, wait a second here. High-powered offense, you scored 13 points at home on national TV.
Against Carolina.
And Bryce Young? Now, let's give Carolina a little bit of credit here. Their defense, if you look at their stats, are actually a little better than middle of the pack. So you got to give them credit because the coaches down there in the
we thought that defense would be a lot worse.
Yes, and but they're coming around and they're young because all those second round picks, like sometimes second round picks work out. If you look at a lot of guys on Carolina, they're a young team. There are a lot of draft picks that obviously they've successfully drafted because their defense has got a modicum of being whatever.
I can't believe this team is 5-4 though. How is that possible?
Look at the wins they've had. They've stolen them at the end. They're the classic turtle in the hair.
Tortoise in the hair.
Tortoise in the hair. They're the tortoises there. But as far as I'm concerned, Green Bay have to be complete frauds because you're playing at Lambeau Field against a team that gets a first-round draft choice, and you puke it up at home, and you're still first place in the division, which tells you what a dogfight that is. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, Green Bay, I think, is this. If they don't brighten up, and about 3 weeks from now, somebody in that NFC North is going to be screaming for a playoff berth.
And they lost Tucker Kraft, too.
And
he's done for the season,
Tucker Kraft, so that's going to hurt you in a big way. Which brings us to the nastiest, dirtiest game of the week in my house in Ford Field. Minnesota beating us 27-24. I have to give a lot of credit to the Minnesota defense. A guy came off the injury list. They picked up another guy. They stunted from the linebacker position and caught Goff off guard a number of times. Well, what they did is they filled the A and B gap so that Montgomery and Gibbs couldn't get themselves off the ground. Yeah. We came off a bye week. We had 10 penalties. We had 3 plays that caught us a game. What was it? A block kick, a fumble, and I believe a 4th down play. So I'm not really worried about Detroit because as MCDC said, if we wipe out the mistakes, we should have beaten Minnesota by 10. Great shout out to my former Michigan guy, JJ McCarthy, who was also under duress and got sacked 4 times, but he's obviously got
5 times.
5 times, yeah. Well, he's got the moxie, I think, to bring them there because he's been a winner since high school.
I think he's developing pretty nicely.
Very nicely.
All things considered.
So what this has done is, if you've seen the stats in the good old NFC North, which we'll talk about later, that's getting absolutely crazy because everybody's congested. Minnesota is now playing 500 ball, and we got a long way to go. But to me, that was the most physical game of the week.
Okay.
By far, hence the reason the 10 penalties. I think Minnesota had their 8, so it wasn't that Detroit got all the penalties. A little sloppy. You know what it was? Guys just hacking at each other.
Right.
A lot of bad fouls and that. But those 2 teams are interesting to look for.
They hate each other, those teams.
Oh, it is. And Minnesota, well, I was always saying they're the team, they make the playoffs one year, miss the following. Make the playoffs, miss.
Yep.
They're going to hang in there to the end, I believe. I think they got enough gumption that's going to be there as a team.
It's going to be a dogfight, though.
11 games will win the NFC North, if not 10. Let's get to our next game, a team that I've been riding all year and think that they're just amazing. The Chargers beat the Titans 27-20. But here's the problem with my boys in not San Diego, L.A.
Is it about a certain offensive tackle not being around?
Lost 2 of them now.
Oh, there you go.
Alt's out for the season.
Yeah.
Unless they plug those holes up real quick. You see, thank God Hubert is big and can run.
Yeah, but where are you going to plug those holes? Trade deadline passed.
We'll
get to that a little bit later. But
yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I love the Chargers. 27-20 against Tennessee, who can't freaking lick their lips.
But it's Tennessee at home, and a broken clock is right twice a day.
I say the main thing, it's the whole thing about coming from west to east, not on their body clock time.
Yeah.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But I'm very concerned about the Chargers after this game, which I thought they could completely blow them out, and they didn't.
No, that's a good point. I mean, we don't think of Tennessee as like an East Coast team, but they're more East Coast than we realize.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, of course, they're on the Eastern Seaboard. Last time I checked, that was Tennessee. Aren't they in the Southeastern Conference?
Yeah, but like for like I don't know, at least like from a hockey perspective, like they're a Western Conference team, right? So they should be in the East.
100%. It's just the way the alignment went at the time. I just think the Titans should just play as hard as they can to develop their culture because they're not going to be a team that's going to do anything this year, in my opinion.
Well, they're 1-8,
and good luck to the Chargers for out and getting up. Now the next game I want to talk about is your team, who slid by the Atlanta Falcons at home. And the New England Patriots won 24-23. And if they haven't fired the kicker from Atlanta yet,
cool.
Then we should be talking about. I heard they're going to bring him back out. They said it was a mistake or whatever. I thought
he's had a few of those moments though in his career.
100%. Do you think that perhaps maybe New England was playing too much prevent defense at the end? That Brave Rabel should have told the boys to get a little up. They played a little conservative on offense at the end because they thought they had the lead. I don't think they should kept.
It was Parco Romo that missed the kick.
Yeah, whatever his name was. But I thought you guys played prevent defense and played too conservative offensively, especially.
New England got away with the one.
Yes,
Atlanta should have stole that game.
I thought that by halftime, but it just seemed to me that Vrabel said, nobody get hurt. I think we got this game. And Atlanta's got a lot of moxie because I think their defense is underrated because if you look at their defensive stats, middle of the pack, but at times their front seven can stop the run, and they put a lot of pressure on Drake in the second half.
They do. Their defense is very good, but I mean, on the other end too, you can't let that offense off the hook.
No, definitely.
We talked about this a little bit before the show. Penix is certainly a little bit to learn, but I mean, the guy's got all the talent in the world, right?
He's in front of us right now, and we can't believe that he's tied with the Colts in Berlin right now, considering how much he's been running around and get knocked down, but he's one of those guys that gets back up. I think New England, you guys, your record, you know when they say your record is what you are? I'm not sure if you could sustain this for the next few games when you look at your schedule.
I don't think our schedule's that tough.
No, but I think you got a couple games on the road that you can't afford to blow because you're one game behind
at Baltimore that's going to be a tough one.
Yes, and I think and then you have Buffalo in the next 4 too again, don't you?
But it's in New England because we beat them in Buffalo.
Well, they'll be ready for you. I think Vrabel will be up for the game. I think
so too.
I'm just saying that
our schedule it's like at Tampa versus the Jets, at Cincy versus the Giants, then it's a bye week. Then you come out of that versus Buffalo, at the Ravens, at the Jets, versus Miami.
Favorable schedule, but they're going to have to win the games in front of them, and I think Buffalo's a little bit angry, so we're going to have to see what's going to happen that way. You know what I'm saying? But let's not say that you have to say if you don't believe it. The New England Patriots have to be one of the biggest surprises of the NFL, and Vrabel coming over.
Not for me.
I
picked them as a playoff team.
Well, I know why you picked them, but that's another story. Okay.
Because I see through,
No, I will say this. Here's the two things that you have to find very interesting. I did not know that Vrabel and Josh Daniels had very little
Josh McDaniels
had very little interaction when they were on the same team at New England at the time because Vrabel was such a defensive guy. But he didn't pay much attention to the offense because Brady was doing his thing.
Yeah, why would he need to?
There you go. But the fact that he had enough sense to say, I'm bringing in this offensive coordinator who knows the building, knows the team, knows what kind of culture that Vrabel wants to bring in, and it's been a marriage made in heaven. Because I only see Drake May, who is now an MVP candidate. I don't see him blowing any games this year. As long as their defense holds up, New England, to me, is a surprise team in the league. And when the playoffs come, if they keep their shit together, if they get a home game and happen to win the division, is anyone going to want to go into Gillette Stadium in January?
No, I mean, and New England's obviously not a finished product. Like, obviously, you might want to improve that receiver core. Running back is still a little bit of a question mark. Offensive line, I think it's gotten a little bit better, but you might want to plug a hole in there down the road a little bit.
I'm looking at it this way. I'm saying if they're a work in progress, they're ahead of the game.
Oh, agreed.
You know what I mean?
Well, compared to last year, too. Like, look at where they came from.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's just...
A great head coach can change a lot, and we're seeing that in New England.
They're playing defense like Vrabel used to play defense.
Yes, they are.
And that makes a big difference. You know what I mean? And another thing about that defense, very quietly the last couple years when New England wasn't doing as good, they were wise enough to draft guys because if you look some guys on their defense, it's mostly guys that they drafted. So they picked the guys at the right time. So I'm expecting a lot more fun at New England this year.
Don't be surprised if they're in the championship game.
I'm not going to be. The team that I just can't figure out who is winning 17-13 over Indy right now in Berlin is these Atlanta Falcons. I did have them predicted to make the playoffs, did I not?
Yeah, they're classic chokers, though.
I don't know what's going on. Like, I was like, they're the...
Actually, did you have them?
I think so. I had to make in the playoffs.
Last year, I know for sure you did.
Take a look, and I believe I was... No?
Yeah, Tampa Bay winning the division.
But Atlanta's a wild card?
Nope.
Good.
Yeah, it's Seattle, Green Bay, and Washington as your wild cards.
Right. And how's that working out? That's another
I
story.
had Washington winning the division.
Well, look what happened there, okay? Then we get to the next game, which to me was the most absolutely insane football game I have seen in time.
Oh, my God.
Made no sense. Had lots of rhyme and rhythm when you got a score of 47 of 42.
I was surprised you chose Cincy to win this game.
Well, they should have won the game. I thought it was at home.
But Cincy and Atlanta, those are two classic teams that love to puke it up all over their face. And Cincy and Atlanta did it right there last weekend.
Okay, so we don't know who the Bears are there, but they got a nice record now, and they're in contention for the division.
They're a decent team.
They're a decent team, but they seem to have trouble on the road. And I just thought that being in Cincinnati with the way they were throwing the ball, that they were going to sneak this one out. Have you seen the last 3 minutes of this game? Cincinnati should be standing in a corner. Someone should get a detention. Someone should learn how to tackle. Oh, my God. Did you see the last play? Here is 40-year-old Flacco throwing darts all over the field.
God bless him.
Did you see the catch by Higgins on that one touchdown?
How was that even a catch? That was spectacular.
One of the best catches of the year so far.
Maybe the best catch of the year.
Okay, so now...
Look it up if you haven't watched it, guys. It was spectacular.
Stunning. Thank God he's on my fantasy team. And then you take it one step further. Joe Flacco had the 2 drives, and especially, how many times do we get an onside kick?
Oh, my.
So now you come down.
And an onside kick that's not recovered properly. That's so rare nowadays because of the new rules.
Well, when those guys took the flight home, that guy bought beer.
I hope so.
The guy had bounced off his foot. He didn't even see it. He's looking this way. The ball bounces off his foot, which is the cardinal sin on special teams. Don't let the ball hit you. Mm-hmm. Guy jumped on it. They go down and score a great touchdown. And what do? Some guy tries to bump into that tight end who's 6'5", 240. You're a cornerback and you bump into him. What happened to the days of wrap and roll? And he proceeds.
That's one of the worst defensive plays I've seen all year.
So in one game, we see one of the most spectacular catches we're going to see all year. Combine that with one of the worst tackling performances.
He was surrounded by 3-4 Bengals.
Guys,
it was insane. And then he just slips right through for a touchdown.
Everyone hit him. No one tackled him. 2 guys had wraparounds. They hit him.
So what do you think it was? They were just kind of we got to keep
just
him
knock
to the
him down. Knock him down.
Defense.
No timeouts. Clock running. Can they get up for one more play? We got this win. Whoops. And that's how tight it is in football, but they should be embarrassed. I wonder when they watch the game film this week, what are they going to say to these guys? Everybody ran into him. That's like me running down the field, and I'm going to say, I'm going to block Ray Lewis. Gee, how's that going to work out, Cruz? I don't know. They found my impression in the sand over there. Because this guy just pinballed him, or was it the bowling ball? But in any event, that was one of the weirdest games in the year. I don't like Chicago because they're in my division. I think this game cost Cincinnati any opportunity to get back into the race because it was one of those games.
100%. They're 3-6 now. They're dead in the water.
And if you look at their next couple of games, it's not like they're playing me and you. So when you have opportunities like this in the NFL, especially when you're playing at home, you are now officially in trouble. I don't see them going anywhere.
So they're at their bye week right now, but then at Pittsburgh.
Oh, is that their bye week? Can we call it that?
So hold on, though. At Pittsburgh versus New England, at Baltimore, at Buffalo versus Baltimore, and then you finish up at Miami versus Arizona versus Cleveland, but by then it might be too little too late.
What was the definitive word I was using? Bye week? Bye. Bye, Cincinnati. I think that you're absolutely done.
They're going to channel some NSYNC.
Okay, that's exactly right. Now, here's another team that we're going to discuss because I don't know what I'm doing dancing with this guy because he's got a great hair. He's supposed to have the best hair in the NFL. And one of the guys they didn't know what to use with, unfortunately, Travis Hunter, looks like he's gone for a month.
Probably maybe the season.
If they don't, they spin out of it.
Because the coach said hopefully he's back for a playoff game in January. That's not good.
That's trouble right there. So my point being is this: who are the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Jekyll and Hyde?
Can they make the playoffs?
Can they? Sure. Will
How
they?
did they not put the Raiders away?
Yeah. How did this game drag into overtime?
Ugly, sloppy. Guys learn how to catch the ball. Guys falling down on routes, misplays, overthrows, everything you could possibly see. Geno Smith, who was supposed to be the reclamation project of all time, I think he's going back in the recycle bin within about a year. He's back. God bless Geno, but he looked absolutely terrible.
And we got to shout out, though, to Cam Little as well, breaking the field goal record. 68 yards. It's only a matter of time before someone's going to hit 70.
Did I tell you?
That one could have gone like 70-plus yards.
Did I tell you the kicker is on my fantasy team?
Little?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I thought about that before I let him go and come back. But in any event, I think the Raiders, I can't figure them out either, but I will give Pete Carroll credit. He was one of the ones that made the rant about we shouldn't have ties in the NFL. And he scored the touchdown, and he went for the 2-point play to win the game. And they didn't make it. If he makes a 2-point game, we're talking completely different about the Jacksonville Jaguars right now.
I don't know if I like that move by Carroll, though, especially as the home team.
I loved it. What do they got to lose? Their record is what, 1 in a million? You know, that if they don't get the win, I mean, they needed the win.
Yeah, but also fuck you to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We don't want to help them.
Did you want to have another tie?
It's not about what I want.
I want
it's
the
about it's about being competitive.
Okay, so
now you come out there with nothing.
I liked his moxie. That's old school Pete Carroll.
If he was on the road, I would have liked them more. Put it that way. As a road team, I don't mind the aggressiveness.
That seemed to be the word around the campfire. I'm looking at it this way. Is this a game that gets Jacksonville in the playoffs at the end?
I think it's a little early to say that.
But I mean, you count the seasons, you count the games, and you realize, hey, that could be one of the pivotal games. Just like last year when Chicago got that.
But look at all the teams who are knocking on the door of the AFC.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So this, if it's that tight at the end, you go back and say, what games got you there? This could be one of the games that might make them a wild card team, because I don't think they're going to win the division, even though the Colts, what are you doing today? Can we get our shit together?
I don't know. Jacksonville still has some tough games ahead, though.
That's what I'm saying.
At Houston today, they got to play the Chargers.
Yeah, but the problem with Houston,
they got to play both their games against the Colts still.
That's going to be the issue right there.
And they got to go into Denver.
Do you think they can win today? Well, we'll talk about our picks later. We'll get to that later. Now we're going to get to the next game, which I'm going to say, well, actually the next two games, which could probably feature two of the teams that are going to get to the Super Bowl. But I like the way that my boy Matt Stafford, did you see him play last week? Who are the Saints?
Nobody.
Saints, you should have brought angels. You should have brought Buddha. You should have brought Allah. You should have brought all your saints to this game, because what the LA Rams proved is when they got somebody in front of them that's a doormat, they're going to run the fuck right over them. Stafford looked amazing. What people don't understand about the Rams is, if you want to take a little time, because maybe we should yell more stats and numbers on the air, but I mean, you can find those everywhere. Hit a key on your phone. You're going to look at it. What people don't understand is, very quietly, this McVay guy is supposed to be the offensive guru that he is. Very quietly, look at those first and second draft picks that they've taken in the year on the defensive end of the ball. Mm-hmm. When these kids get some dick control, they may be the best goddamn defense in the league. They make some mistakes, but their aggression is off the charts. I don't even know how the Saints got 10 points. And I'm going to reiterate right here. I'm going to say that, here's what I say. I'm watching football for so long.
You don't like Tyler Shaw? Or Shaw?
At least he's not Skylar tall. That's all I'm saying, okay?
Oh, no.
But that's another story.
Oh, no.
Stop it. Anyways, if you want to go look at
on a guy's name, come on.
Come on, Skylar. You know what I mean? I'd rather name my kid Fence Post. Stop it. Really?
I'm not saying you got to like the name, but...
If it was a girl with long blonde hair and they called her Skylar, I'd be cool with that.
Oh, my God.
But if you're a quarterback in the NFL, I wonder if he throws interceptions.
We'll put an end to that right now.
Aren't I just awful at times with my old school stupidity? But that's another story. I'm reiterating right here that I think that the Rams are going to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to...
Not a horrible pick.
No, and I'm going to tell you why. If you look at the history of coaches and you look at the history of the NFL, becoming a great coach of all time, you have to win more than one Super Bowl. McVay's been to two.
Yes,
okay,
he's won
one. He's still young.
He's very young.
You could put another notch on here, because you look at the great coaches, except for the Belichicks and stuff. You go back to Parcells. He won one here. A couple years later, he won one over here.
He won two with the Giants, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But they don't all come together. So I think McVay's got another Super Bowl in his back pocket. And
I think so, too. I don't know if it's this season, though.
Oh, I
could
be
wrong.
It is this season, because
I could be wrong.
What you do is, you're the guy that says, what? Defense travels?
Yes, sir.
And this defense is supposedly, look at them last year. They were very good. They added a couple young pieces. I think the defense is going to be key, because we know what Stafford can do.
Agreed. But I think there's another team in that division that we're going to talk about in a couple seconds.
Okay,
that could be...
we're going to get to them in a minute, but I'm going to tell you this. My take on the matter is, Kevin Pick, we're going to have you on the show soon, so I want you to come on this show and look me in the eye and say, Matt Stafford is a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. You hear me, Pick?
I agree.
Okay, now all those years in Detroit, they've wiped off and they've forgotten. I've seen every down that Matt Stafford played. I thought by the 5th season, this guy was going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Oh, you're Detroit biased. No, he's running for his life with nobody but Calvin, and he was putting up numbers. So, he got fourth quarter, second half numbers. No. He was just great. Look at him now. Anybody in the league that talks about Matt Stafford that knows anything about football goes, oh, wow, we should have been talking about this guy even more. So I'm repping the Rams to go to the Super Bowl in a big way.
So 3 more games left from last week to still talk about?
The other one is I'm very glad that the Buffalo Bills up there in Orchard Park bum rushed the Kansas City Chiefs, who I thought was going to be the time that they were going to sneak a win on the road against Buffalo because they never seemed to do it in the regular season. I thought the pattern would change. I was pleasantly surprised by the blitz patterns that McDermott used against Mahomes, because Mahomes was running for his life all day, and you really haven't seen the Buffalo defense do that to a quarterback all year, which bodes well for where they're going. Because if you look at this score, it says, 28-21, one-score game. Go look at the whole progression of the game from beginning to end. This score flatters Kansas City, in my opinion, because Buffalo dominated. Look at the numbers. Look at the time of possession. Look at everything that went on, and you were just looking at the box score, and you'd think that Buffalo would have beaten these guys by 20 points. Didn't work out that day.
Well, I don't know if by 20 points, but definitely more than one touchdown.
Well, definitely more than one touchdown. Now, that doesn't mean that Kansas City's not going anywhere because they're outside looking in as we speak, which I think it could change rapidly. But my point being is sometimes matchouts work out that way, that Buffalo is waiting for Kansas City saying, we can't afford to lose this game, especially with the New England Patriots being a game ahead of us, and we're still fighting for the division.
And the thing is, too, Buffalo, they beat Kansas City in the regular season, but in the playoffs.
We're talking regular season right now.
Exactly,
I'm not talking about anything else.
I'm just saying.
I was just surprised because I did pick Kansas City. I think it was my reverse jinx, really, is what I was thinking about.
I picked KC too.
Okay, but I just thought the way that Buffalo played, they got to play like that every week to catch New England. And I thought it was their best game of the year. Considering those crazy numbers, to catch up against Baltimore at the beginning of the year, that's too far away now. But as a team on a hold who's having defensive problems, which we've seen in the last couple of weeks, Buffalo held up well, and Buffalo's definitely making the playoffs if they don't make the division. And Buffalo
100%.
And Buffalo could still be a team that represents the AFC in the Super Bowl.
Well,
I'm just saying. So that's why I said the 2 games in a row, Rams and Bills. If the Rams and Bills end up,
I don't know. It's now or never time for the Bills for the Super Bowl. That's all I'm going to say.
Josh Allen's too young. We'll do that, but you can go there. Which brings us to the
team. The rest of the team, though, man.
Yes, okay, but the offense is there and the O line is fine, so we'll have to wait and see.
Defense though, we can get to that another time. The Sunday nighter, Seattle, Washington.
What a pathetic piece of shit game I've seen there. First of all, Jaden Daniels got knocked out, so that took away any kind of offense that Washington was going to use. Number 2 is, I'm really happy for Sam Darnold, and I think that Seattle's defense is legit. But if you can bum rush the show on Seattle, they can be beaten. Put a little bit more pressure on Sam Darnold, and you're going to win, because I'm not totally convinced.
Well, that's probably what's going to be their downfall in the playoffs.
In any event, if you've seen a couple of games that Seattle has won, the turnover margin was not in their favor, and the defense saved them. So when you look at it, one of the biggest stats you got to look at in a game is always be ahead on the turnover margin. And Seattle's has given some turnovers. I don't think they were that bad last week because Washington.
I thought it was even on turnovers.
Was it about even?
It was even. Yeah, each team had one interception. Actually, Seattle was ahead because both teams had one fumble as well, but Seattle recovered.
At the end. Yeah. But the bottom line is, like, Sam Darnold, I'm very happy for him. Number 1 pick. He's looking great as a quarterback. But there just seems to be a couple of little cracks in the armor I see in Seattle, especially against when they had a chance to put teams away. Now, we could also say
Smith
about
and Jigba's becoming a cheat code,
he's unbelievable.
Though.
However, what did they do? They picked up Shaheed, what's his name, from New Orleans, which could make This could make a huge difference in the other option that Darnold's looking for, because he's going through his progressions like no tomorrow.
And they got the running backs. And if Walker can stay healthy, and they got Charbonnet, who's not bad, number 2.
So what we're going to get at here is what we're saying is that Seattle's not going nowhere. They tighten up the screws. They win the division.
I think that's very, very, very possible they hang on and win the division.
You know what it is? And here's the deal.
And if they have home field with that crowd there,
there you go.
Watch out, Seattle.
And here's the deal. Oh, Billy Idol. In any event, Seattle's got a little bit more favorable schedule going down the stretch than the Rams because the Rams are playing the first place schedule.
Yeah, and the Seattle, they have like second or third place?
Yes, they do. Yeah. So that could make a difference because I think Seattle's defense is legit. Sometimes I think Seattle's defense bails out Sam Darnold at a time when they were saying what a great offense they have, which they do.
But you need that in the playoffs. You need that defense.
100% you're going to go there. So we're not done with Seattle. Washington's season, I think, is just about
DOA.
Yes. You know what I hear?
They're 3-6. Yeah, they're in Cincinnati territory. 3-6. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Daniel's not playing for the next few weeks.
Bye-bye.
I hear the fat lady humming.
She's warming up.
I hear she's warming up. Which gets us to our last game of the week. And we at the House That Happens wanted to find something definitively that we don't want to have anything to do with the national press or anybody that wants to say propaganda, hype, put people on TV. We got to watch them together gone. I'm going to the Michael Wilbon School of covering the Dallas Cowboys. Fuck them.
This was the death, the nail in the coffin
done.
for them. They're done.
You know what I mean? They're going to be nothing. You got your asses handed to you
by Arizona at home.
Jacoby Brissett.
There you go.
On national TV. You know what I mean?
What a pathetic game.
Oh, my God.
I thought this is like, for sure, take the over on this game.
I thought take the over and take Dallas. Dallas, if you're going to do anything, this is your opportunity to do it now. Look at Dallas's schedule.
I feel bad for Dak, though.
Why?
He's like one of the premier quarterbacks in the game, and he gets no fucking respect.
So you see a couple of picks that he happened to throw during this game.
He only had one pick.
Worst pick at the worst time of the game. And what ended up happening? Killed the game. Absolutely killed the game. Now, there was a couple other little plays that people got deflected and shit like that. And here's another thing. Arizona's just a weird team. Remember
Very much
this? So. What's their record? 3 and something?
3-5.
In their 5 losses, in those 4 losses, they lost by a combined 16 points.
Oh, and there were games that they blew at the end too.
Exactly.
Basically, like there were games that were right in their hands, and then just for whatever reason, their defense or whatever, they couldn't get that extra touchdown from Kyler Murray. Just something found its way to go wrong.
Their offense has actually been dysfunctional until Jacoby Brissett took over.
Exactly. Everyone that's saying, why is Kyler Murray like a scratch or whatever? Why is he out? Because he's been no good.
Okay.
Simple as that. He's going to be playing baseball for the Athletics soon.
Stop it. In any event.
They still own his rights.
He's got too much money. He's not going to go sit on a bus to make it in the NFL when he's got that much money.
MLB?
MLB.
I think it's a great fit. You know, Oakland or whatever, the A's, they're a team with a history of choking in the last 30 years. Kyler Murray fits right in.
He's the only player in the history of sports that's been drafted in the top 10.
Both leagues.
In both leagues, so that's an accomplishment. What you got to remember about Arizona, and I don't think that they're going anywhere, is pay some respect to their defense.
Agreed.
All year long, their defense has been there. Their offense has been dysfunctional, but since they got Kyler Murray out of the picture, which is absolutely bizarre, I don't understand this. Marvin Harrison was taking a lot of grief the first 3 games for maybe not being the wide receiver that he was supposed to be.
Well, I think the problem there was that Kyler Murray didn't like him. This was going back to last year, too.
Jacoby Brissett comes in, and he looks like one of those great Ohio State. Right?
96 yards and a touchdown.
And I said Ohio State. I try not to say that word on the show ever, but that's another story.
Weird. You had them on one of your screens yesterday when I came in.
I was just hoping they'd get beat, but it didn't happen.
No, they smoked.
Yes. And but in any event, Marvin Harrison's a real freaking talent. And here's another thing. You know what's great about sports? Should dads be doing press conferences and podcasts talking about their sons' positions on teams?
No.
I know you don't agree with that. Did you hear Marvin Sr.'s rant?
No. I did not. I don't want to hear it.
He's a gangster of gangsters.
Take a page from Deion Sanders where he's like, I don't care about the Cleveland Browns, but I care about my boy. That's where you should leave it.
But you know him being a first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver. He had said some things about the way you play the game and what you do with a wide receiver that were very pertinent.
Right.
And he said, I didn't say anything about his son being the greatest or his son doing anything. He just put out a point. When you got a guy like this, you're not, what's your quarterback going to do? Very next game, what does he get? 6 freaking touches for 97 yards and a touchdown.
Oh, that might be something to do with the quarterback there, too.
What Sally was saying, if you got a guy of this talent, scheme to him and get him the ball, and good things are going to happen. Look what happened. So I don't know if Arizona can make it all the way back. They've got the easiest schedule of the 4 teams in their conference. But
3-5, and they got a tough division to go through.
A tough division, but the rest of their games that they should be a little bit competitive in, I think losing 4 games by 50,
I think they got a tough schedule, man.
I'm just saying.
At Seattle versus San Fran versus Jacksonville, at Tampa versus the Rams, at Houston versus Atlanta, at Cincy, at the Rams.
I think they could win any one of those games. I really do if they keep going the way they are.
Yeah, but they're going to lose a bunch of those games too.
They lost 4 games by 15 points or whatever. That should have been an indicator that they have the opportunity to win games that they should have.
I think best case.
I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. But I'm just giving them some respect.
I think best case scenario is like they get a little bit of a hard on and they miss the playoffs by like 1 game at the end or something. It's going to be too little too late.
So let's take a little look at what's going on in the NFL, and we'll just
we've already been talking like 35 minutes. So
okay, let's get out of here.
Dolphins fire their GM.
Okay, and
how does this guy stay the job there like so long? He was there over 10 years.
Okay, that is okay.
And Miami's been pathetic. They haven't won a single playoff game since like what, 1999 or something, 2000.
It's absolutely insane. So let's just put it this way: we're big on meritocracy on this show. Meritocracy on this show. So let's talk about the real reason that he got fired, and not some of the innuendo I've heard around from some announcers discussing maybe that's the reason he's going. We're not going to go there. You know what I'm talking about. But I hate that shit in sports. They got to put that stuff away. The guy got fired on his resume for no other reason than his resume.
Yes. And it wasn't a good resume.
No. Thanks for coming out. I really feel sorry for McDaniels because he's just a lame duck for the rest of the year. The new GM comes in and he's gone. So here's my take on the future of Mike McDaniels. I'm picking him up at the airport, and I'm driving him right to Ford Field, and he can be the new offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions.
I think he's still got another year there in Miami. I think
You think he starts the season as the coach of the Miami Dolphins next year?
Why not? The other GM might just be like, hey, I want to just see how things are. You take a year to just kind of explore and just kind of see what the lay of the land is. You see that a lot.
Does he have control of the dressing room?
I don't know. That's the thing. Well, the new GM's going to have to figure that out. I don't think firing him and hiring a new guy right away is going to be the best thing necessarily for a team.
Okay, and the Mike Vrabel's the incident is living proof that you shouldn't do that, considering especially where Tennessee is now.
There you go.
But I really believe with all his nuances and all the things that you can make fun of him and his press conferences and the way that he dresses, I don't think that means a shit because I think he's a brilliant offensive mind.
Yeah, we talked about this. Like some guys are head coaches, some guys are coordinators.
Maybe he's a coordinator, and I'm telling you what, as soon as Miami fires his ass, I'm picking him up at the airport. I told him I walk dogs. Detroit's a good city, and we'll take him for Cobo a couple shows. I'm just saying this off the top of my head, but if Mike McDaniels becomes offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions in the next year, man, I hope I can pick lottery numbers like that.
Dowdle penalized for 2 pumps. So this is right out of a Key and Peele sketch. I don't know if you've seen the sketch.
No, but you're not the first person that's referenced that. I've heard that on TV.
It's literally right out of the sketch where it's like the guy's like doing like one, and then like the referee's like right up to his crotch, and it's like he does the second one, and then he throws the flag.
Yes. I've seen a couple of really weird flags this week, and I don't want to get on to the referees because I've already said, our opinion about it. Get an academy, get them going. What was the one who was in the game? Who got the taunting thing for putting the ball in his face?
That's ridiculous.
He just turned around and put it in his face.
We're gonna drive this into the ground. NFL, hire full-time refs, man.
Can you get him as soon as you can now? And we'll get back to it. When you're watching the game, anybody out there watching the game today, and every time you see a quarterback hit, tell me if you think that there should have been a flag thrown, or when the flag does get thrown, what is your opinion of that? By the way, they let Buffalo rough Mahomes up a little bit after his last 2 weeks of calisthenics and Golden Globe Award performances on the field. Well, that's no takeaway from Mahomes. He's still the best player in the league. But I think that when you're in that position and you can take advantage of it, why not? It's not good for the rest of the league. But
it's not good for football as a whole.
Exactly. So I think they let him play a little bit more in Buffalo than they did usually because it's a Buffalo-KC matchup, which seems to be starting to be like the New England-Indy matchup every year because their positions in the standings. But I seen Mahomes finally take a couple of hits, and I didn't see no flags.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I also seen a couple of guys that got knocked down who were running and there was no flag on the Stroud play when he got knocked out. because that
Yeah.
was a football play. But it's unfortunate that he's out, so we'll keep our eye on that.
And just a little bit of trade deadline talk. So obviously the big one was Sauce Gardner gained trade to Indy for 2 first-round picks, was it?
Is he making a difference in this game today?
I mean, it's games going to Europe are always a little bit weird. I think one game is a little bit too early to say is it a failure or not. If this is like week 12, 13, and we're still saying like what's going on here, then obviously it's a failure. But we'll wait and see.
That's exactly what we're going to do here. I think that he's a great pickup personally. You know what I mean? They're saying this. Okay.
Well, I love that Ursay, like she just came out. She's just like, why don't we just get the best guy?
She said, what did she say? Are we putting a Band-Aid on this? Or are we going to have a fix?
Exactly.
And
they give up a lot, mind you, but I mean, they picked up the best guy who was available.
well, you'll have to go with what you got right now. And can't you be saying that? We don't know until after today. The Colts are one of the surprises of the seasons, and if you don't put
Big
them
time.
into contention to perhaps maybe making a run to the Super Bowl, especially with the defense they had and Sauce Gardner, it should be quite interesting.
Well, and this is going to be a big moment for them. And we're watching the Atlanta-Indianapolis game live right now from Germany.
And they just blew the 4th down.
It's 2nd and 10, but like this is going to be a big snap right here. 3rd and 10 for Indy.
But the play, have you seen the last sequence with the Colts? They blew the 4th down deep in their own zone. I think they should.
Well, it's 4th quarter, and it's still 1 possession game, so still plenty of chances here. Indy could still pull this game out.
Oh, I think they can too, but I think they should have taken the 3. We'll have to wait and see.
Either way. Ready to get to our picks?
Yes.
So last weekend, we were both awful. I was 4 for 13. You were 3 for 14.
I shouldn't even be allowed to talk about football. What the fuck do I know about football? I know they throw it, it's oblong, and they get first downs. That's all I know about football. Let's cut to the chase here.
Yeah, so, I mean, the Indianapolis-Atlanta game, Indy favored by 6.5. I mean, I'm sure we could just go off the trust system here. I chose Indy.
Of course I did. What do you mean? And because I thought the fast track, but this is a soccer field too. And beware, people, like this is a real.
Could be a little bit of a trap. Yeah, we've heard about this before.
Yes, this is a real thing. Some teams play better on some surfaces. And this last week, for example, was the first time that the Colts played on any other kind of turf than what they're usually playing on. And this here is a soccer field, so we're going to have to wait and see what's going on.
Oh, my, great special
here.
teams play.
Yes, and they're going to be good. We're going to hope it out. So we were both on Indy.
Yes. Cleveland at the New York Jets. Cleveland favored by 2.5 on the road. I'm on the Browns.
Okay. I hate this game, but I took
me
the
too.
Browns.
There's a bunch of ones I hate this
Or
week.
did I should take pick. I might even have taken the Jets. Got my picks right here. But continue.
New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers. Panthers favored by 5.5 at home. I'm on the Panthers.
If the Panthers don't win today, then they are frauds.
Well,
Some people say they are frauds now, but they're just a very scrappy team.
I don't know if I'd call them frauds. I'd say they're like pretty fairly rated. They're not that
If they
good.
win today, guess what? They're in a playoff position as we speak.
That's
you know that?
insane.
I did take the Jets, by the way.
Oh, you want me to change your pick?
Yeah, I took the Jets.
I feel sorry for you.
I know, but they got to win eventually.
Oh, they've won enough.
And who are they playing?
Cleveland. They got a good defense. Defense travels.
So when they win 10-9 and it's the ugliest game of the year, what are you going to say?
Well, Fields is probably going to get some garbage points here. Either way, we move on to New England at Tampa. Tampa favored by 2.5 at home. I'm on New England.
I'm on the Bucks coming off a
I
bye
knew you
week.
would be.
Sorry, New England. I hope you win, but this is off a bye week in Tampa. They got some injury guys coming back. Now, what's hurting them is they lost that old lineman. The big old lineman.
Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Well,
What's
and
his
their
name?
wide receiver core is injured to shit.
Doesn't matter. Baker's
it
hitting
does.
everybody, especially his tight ends. I think we're going to see a lot of 2-end sets today out of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I could see that.
One of the reasons is to protect from the freaking blitzes.
Sure.
That variable is going to be thrown at him. So I think we might see a lot more
A lot of hands in the face.
all of the above, and basically due to the fact because they're short on the wide out situations. So you watch, he's going to go down under because, you know, New England's a little soft underneath there. They play a lot of man-to-man. But I think it's going to be a great game. It might be one of the best games of the day.
I can't wait.
Yep, it could be one of the best games of the day.
Baltimore at Minnesota. Baltimore's favored by 4.5 on the road. I'm on the Ravens.
I am too, just because I hate Minnesota. Sorry, son. Just because that's the only reason I'm taking Baltimore for one reason. I hate the Vikings.
Buffalo at Miami. Buffalo's favored by 8.5 on the road. I'm on Buffalo.
I think that this could be a very ugly scene for Miami because Buffalo hasn't forgotten the fact that they let Miami bitch slap them on
In their
national
house.
in their house on national TV in ugly uniforms. So they're going to go back to the traditional Bills uniform, and they got to play defense like they did last week, regardless if they got out all over. You showed it last week against one of the best offenses in the league, and this is Miami, who's just a mess right now. Buffalo all the way.
New York Giants at the Chicago Bears. Bears favored by 4.5 at home. I'm on the Bears.
How can you not be? That's just an easy pick.
I wasn't sure who you're going to pick because I know you don't have any love for the Bears.
But sometimes I'm a realist. Not that I'm saying the Giants can't do it because they got a sneaky good defense too.
They do. Jacksonville at Houston. Houston is favored by 1.5 at home. This is a spread that moved quite a bit. I'm on Houston.
This is a weird one because what is it? Jacksonville by 1.5?
It moved to Houston by 1.5 now. Houston was favored by like 2.5, I think, when I first saw. And then it moved to like 1.5, and then it flipped all the way over.
Okay, I heard that, I'm not sure if this is true, but a helicopter is coming down to my house to pick you up, to take you a private jet to get you to the game because Houston needs a quarterback. Are you playing for them today? Who's their quarterback? Darby Mills? Isn't she the lead singer of the Headpins? What's his name?
Who are you on?
I got to take the Jags.
I knew you would. Arizona at Seattle. Seattle's favored by 7.5 at home. I'm all over the Seahawks. I'm
taking Arizona to cover.
Wow. I did not think you would.
I don't think I did either. Look at my picks. I did them when I was stoned. No, I think I took the Cardinals due to the fact that I really do believe that they covered. And if I didn't do that, Mr. Pick, I'm an idiot. But I've changed my mind due to the fact that I took the Seahawks. I put them on my pick'em pool as a Seahawks, so I better take them, but I'm regretting it already.
All right, Detroit at Washington. Detroit's favored by 7.5 on the road. I'm all over the Lions.
Win by 15.
All right. LA Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. Another division rise up here. Rams favored by 5.5 on the road.
Gonna win by 10.
No, I think 49ers win.
Okay, we'll put a beer on that. Oh, no. The Rams they should be undefeated.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Okay, but look, so the train kept it rolling all night long. Here it comes. Matt Stafford and the boys are going. And now that he's found the connection with Devontae Adams.
You don't think Shanahan's going to reach into his bag of tricks?
He's going to pull everything out of his hat. And guess what? He seems to have a way of beating the Rams, doesn't he? But this time I just think that, no, it ain't going to happen. Mac Jones is going to have a rough day.
All right. Pittsburgh at the LA Chargers. Chargers favored by 2.5 at home. I'm on LA. Formerly San Diego.
I'm taking them by default. I'm really worried about their O-line and the way that Pittsburgh has changed their scheme, especially how they pulled it off last week. Can they take the same thing on the road? They're going to be playing on a faster track. They're in SoFi. They're not on that muddy-ass bullshit field that they play on in Pittsburgh. But I think that the Chargers are going to hold on somehow, some way.
And
game of the day. That could be a game of the day.
Yeah, Sunday nighter.
Yeah.
And last but not least, the Monday nighter. This one should be a great one as well. Philly at Green Bay. Green Bay is favored by 1.5 on the road. I'm on Philly.
All day. How is Green Bay, who are now pulling out to be one of your favorite words, they're becoming the most fraudulent team in the NFL.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, look when they win, look when they lose. It's just a freaking joke. I hope Philadelphia pummels them, and I'm not even no Philadelphia guy.
Anything else you want to add for football?
No, just go Detroit Lions. It should be a good slate this week. You know what I mean? We've got a great game going on right now. And as I said, I usually think the first game of the day is sometime a template of what you're going to see for the rest of the day.
All right.
We'll
move us over to the NHL in our Toronto Maple Leafs report. Cruz's favorite segment, his favorite team. He watches them. He watches two games. He watches every game. Of them twice because he loves them so much.
No, because I'm just taking what would you want to put it? I want to put to go to school and you have that class where you discuss what the fuck is going on with their defensemen.
I don't know.
We watched the game together last night. And some of the things I said about the Toronto Maple Leafs defense.
It was just a lot of things around the net, I think, were a problem. They got to just clean up the garbage.
Got to have a guy to pick the puck up and get it out of their zone.
They're missing Chris Tanev.
That's huge. And he's not usually the guy that's always bringing the puck out of the zone either. They got to have a guy.
No, but my point is, like, they need that guy
stabilize.
to just clean the puck away, which is his role. He's the stay-at-home defensive guy.
And I'd have him on my team at the drop of the hat.
Him as McCabe. They're one of my favorite defense pairs, like, as a Leaf ever. Yeah.
In the league, they're there, but they're not there now. And as you noticed last night, and give Berube credit.
And the Leafs lost 5-3 to Boston. We should set that up.
Yes.
In Toronto.
In Toronto, which gets us back to our other part about the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is yelling really loud. How many games that they've had at home to start the season, how many games they've had against teams that are not playoff contenders. Even though you got to look at Boston differently, that was their 6th win in a row.
Yeah, it was. They're hot.
So they were hot at the right time. But I really thought that when Nylander did not get the goal that we thought was a goal, that was the thing that was going to change the game. And what did they have? Oh, shit, we didn't score. And when did Boston score? 90 seconds after. The classic, what happened there? And you were back on your heels for one play.
That was the game right there, yeah.
Cost you the game. Now, let's not get too worried about the Toronto Maple Leafs in this respect.
I'm not.
Same record as last year, aren't they? Okay, let's put in another thing.
And the Leafs had a good week, all things considered. They had the win last Saturday against Philly. They have the huge comeback win against Pittsburgh on Monday on Prime.
Yeah.
And then they win against Utah.
So I'm looking at
Which the Utah game, that might have been their best game all year.
No doubt about it. I thought it was too. And that's why I was scared, because then Utah's coming to Montreal a couple nights later. You know, they're going to tie their shoes tighter. But let's look a little bit inside at the Toronto Maple Leafs. I actually believe that they've got enough scoring to be a Stanley Cup contending team. And I think that what's going to go on with Toronto is they haven't found out who plays with who yet. But
I think they're getting there.
They are getting there. Last night at times, the flow of the game for Toronto, by the time when they were trying to make the comeback, is they were looking like they did against Utah. Like they finally got the flow going a little bit. I like the fact that they're doing the Edmonton Oilers thing that I was talking about. You do want Willie and Matthews to play on different lines, but when it gets to the third period and they need that extra offense, they seem to be showing up on the ice at the same time, just like Draisaitl and McNabb.
Yeah, and I think by the time you get to the playoffs, Nyes, Matthews, Nylander is going to be the top line.
And let's give credit to John Tavares, is supposed to keeps stepping back. And if he's not the best number 2 center in the league, he's got to be up there when you consider the way he plays both sides of the ice.
And him and Robertson finding a little bit of chemistry too lately.
Yes, too. And I like the fact that Robertson sometimes plays with Matthews, because one of the things that
I like Nyes more with Matthews on that top line, though.
I do too. But what I'm saying is that one thing about Robertson is you got to give it credit to, and I scream about it all the time when we're talking about it. At least he puts the puck on the net. He causes trouble in front of the net, because it's not just Toronto. We watched it, a lot of games we watched last night. All this possession bullshit, shoot the goddamn puck. You know what I mean?
There's a few times the Leafs were just like, come on, guys, just fire it.
And I thought it was interesting because Joshua and Roy at times were playing dirty hockey to get the puck out of the corner when they were putting the pressure on, but they just don't have that playmaker in center or the guy that's got chemistry with them yet. But considering we've only played 15
I think
games,
Michelli is kind of getting there on that third line.
I tend to disagree. I think he'll be on the 4th line by the rest of the year, only due to the fact that they took him and he's supposed to be some kind of valuable player. I think that he's not a Berube guy.
I think he's finding his way.
You think is what it is?
I think.
Well, we'll see.
Lately, he's been finding his way. I think he's been playing his best hockey the last week or two.
Can Toronto go out somewhere and find another center?
I think they're more likely looking for another winger.
Really?
Yeah.
In what respect?
I think someone on right wing that could play with Tavares.
Okay, so what do you got down the center? You got Matthews. You got Tavares. I'm good with
Roy
that.
and Lawton. Those are your guys.
Lawton, I think, is going to be the guy that's going to pull out of it. He's because the injuries.
Well, he just came back.
Yeah, and stuff like that. I think
him and Domi on the 4th line could be pretty dangerous.
I think so, too. And you need, like, the Habs. Look at our 4th line. It's a bunch of pluggers out there, but every time they're on the ice, they're not going to give everything up, and they're going to keep pressure in their own zone. I think Domi's a guy that should shoot more.
I think he's pretty...
He's playing solid. He hasn't been playing bad, but sometimes he gets in the zone and he dipsy doodles a bit much looking for a guy.
I actually disagree. I think he is one of the guys that's like not afraid to shoot it.
He's got a good shot.
He does have a good shot.
But I did notice a couple times last night when he was in the zone, instead of shooting, he was looking for somebody else. And that's been Toronto's issue. They're trying to get the puck in the middle. And so, I don't know. I was playing in the circumstances of the game, but sometimes I thought he should shoot a little bit more. You know what I mean? I think Nye should shoot the puck a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's definitely one of the guys. He's a little bit guilty of, like, you know, trying to set up Matthews or Nylander, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes go to the net instead. And I notice when Robertson's out there, all else fails, shoot at the goalie. And I don't have a problem with that because, you know, my opinion about shot attempts as opposed to shots on goal.
Well, the shot on goal is a shot attempt, though.
We had a good time with that last night, I thought, personally, especially when we had to find out where do we put the hit the goal post.
That's a shot attempt. By definition, it is a shot attempt. It's counted as a shot attempt.
Let's be real. We both watched the game last night. Regardless of the score, it was I thought it was a very highly entertaining hockey game, considering the pedestrian way that the Leafs have played earlier in the year. I did think they pick it up, but
I thought the third period picked up. The first two periods were a little bit sluggish, slow-paced. Yeah.
I'm saying this much. I don't know where they're going to get it. I think if one of the guys can pick it up, but if they can find that guy, because where is Riley?
He's been a little bit of a problem to start here, too.
And he's the guy that
They took him off the top power play. I don't know if you noticed.
Yes, I did. And you know what is? But remember a couple of years ago when the Leafs were really scoring goals, you seen Riley picking up the puck coming out of the zone, headmanning the puck and going forward. Earlier in the games, I was seeing it a bit from Riley, but I'm not seeing it lately. And he's one of the guys.
Maybe they're telling him to cover it up defensively. I wouldn't be surprised.
So that goes back to you're messing with the guy's natural game. I don't know, but the only thing I see wrong with the Toronto Maple Leafs, except for the fact that they got to tighten up in the goaltending situation, because Stollers is not playing quite as well.
Well, I mean, part of the problem there is they were playing him into the ground. But when Hildeby came in relief last night,
great.
He did look great. Like, he looked a lot more technically sound than he has in the last couple of years. He might not be too far away.
I thought that they should have gave him the Caden Primo starts and forget about the goddamn Marlies. Because in hindsight, wouldn't it be better that you have seen him in starting those games than Primo?
I don't mind them erring on the side of caution, especially early in the season. Like, you have 82
4
games
points.
to figure it out. Yeah, fair enough, but
4 points.
It's about making the playoffs in hockey.
By the way, where is Primo right now?
Marlies.
Oh, he passed waivers?
Oh, I don't think anyone would have picked him up.
No, I don't think either.
Who's got space? Oh, the race just started. One thing, speaking of the Marlies, David Kampf is actually suspended by the Leafs now because he left the Toronto Marlies. So his cap hit actually does not count because of that.
Is he being a bitch?
Doesn't want to. Oh, actually, Caden Primo claimed by Carolina. Look at that.
Oh, Carolina needs all the goaltending they can get because they're a good team, but their goaltending is their weak link. We know that. We'll get that in a minute. I think Camp is that he basically said, I'm an NHL player.
I don't think he is anymore. He's not what he was a couple years ago.
No, definitely not. And I'm not surprised at where he is in his position in his hockey career right now. He's had all the time in the world to show that he could be the guy. And what was he, a decent penalty killer? We thought he was
he was a great fourth liner.
That's what I'm saying. But we always thought that he was going to score 10, 15 goals. Remember a couple of years ago? We thought we had 10, 15 goals in his game?
Yeah, he had a little bit of a goal-scoring touch in that stick. But either way, so it looks like they're going to avoid the contract, like pull a Philip Zadina.
And then what happens to him?
Oh, no, poor guy. Again, Bortoletto.
Huh?
We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Okay, in any event, what's your opinion of this situation?
The Camp situation?
No, when players do that.
I mean, if they're both going to agree to void the contract, I don't have an issue with that. It's a big risk from the player. Like, that's a lot of money you're walking away from.
I think it's a bitch move because that's like quitting your job. He quit his job.
If it's not a fit, though, what are you going to do?
Well, then
I think that's actually respectable for a player to be like, this isn't working out for me. I'm going to walk away from the money.
Do you think he's going to get that money back? You think the team's going to
Absolutely not, but that's whatever. That's on the player.
I would have said to his agent, he's got a bad agent, buddy. You're just putting money away you may never get for your rest of your life.
Well, this is all speculation, first of all. We don't know if he's actually going to walk away.
Okay. But this is definitely drama in the house of the Leafs. Very minor. Very minor on a scale, because where was Camp anyway? I forgot about him until this issue came up.
I figured that he wasn't going to make the team, and he was a guy that the Leafs were going to be looking to get rid of that contract, but
they brought in Joshua Roy.
We've had this thing before where players we send him to the Marlies, he doesn't really want to be there. With Ryan Reeves, was that really a distraction last year? No,
and I think this much people got to realize that they say that the Marlies is a team most run like an NHL team than any minor league team in fucking sports.
Oh yeah.
So
they view the Marlies as an extension of the Leafs, right?
Exactly. So I don't know what you were thinking there, Mr. Camp. Good luck to whatever boats him in the future. Who are we looking at Toronto playing this week?
I actually don't know. I haven't looked ahead.
Columbus today, or is it Carolina today?
Oh, Carolina today. That's right. At home.
Big game at home. Is it a 4:00 game, by the way?
7:00 start.
Oh, 7, okay.
I will be watching that.
100%.
At Boston on Tuesday versus LA at home on Thursday. And then next Saturday at Chicago.
And then after that, they go on their first West Coast road trip, isn't it? Because they're the only team from the East that hasn't gone west.
No, actually.
Then their schedule down the road going to be a tough one. Because they haven't gone west.
They have a mini Saturday, Sunday, December, Nashville, Dallas. Then, oh boy. Then they go Colorado, Utah, Vegas
Seattle.
in January. No, the Seattle one. Okay, so that's end of January, early February. That's the Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton.
So they don't get that till then?
And then they go to, when do they go to California? That's late March, early April.
See, that's the killer of their schedule. Their schedule, they should have banked more now, I think.
The
Personally.
Leafs have been pretty good against Western Conference teams, so I'm not too worried about that.
We'll see when they go on the road. It should be quite interesting.
That's enough for Leaf report?
Yeah, definitely is, but we should look it up at the possible MVP of the league and just what he did right now.
Is this Daniel Jones?
Yes, it is. The one in the top is obviously going ahead. These goddamn streaming and shit. Nobody's at the same speed.
Nope.
But in any event, but we'll move it on to the rest of the league right now.
Yeah, so what do you think about your Habs?
First of all, let's say something that we talked about last night and everybody in the room went, whoa. Except for Buffalo, who just lost. There is no team in the Eastern Conference that's under 500.
That's insane.
Is it not? I mean, it's only 15 games, right? Whatever, but to have all those teams that are not under, no team is under 500. What's it going to tell you? We've got a full-blown, off-the-charts dogfight. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Now, the interesting thing about our Montreal Canadiens is, in our last 4 games, we played 3 of them in overtime. So what's that telling you is that I had a bunch of people bitching because of the Dovich Newhook disaster at the end of the Jersey game where they completely outplayed them and ended up losing in overtime, got 1 point. But then when you go a couple games earlier when Ottawa took it to us and we stole the goal with an empty net and won in overtime. So I'm trying to tell people as a diehard disciple of the Montreal Canadiens, over an 80-game schedule, these things kind of balance out, don't you think?
In what sense?
In the sense that, okay, we stole one in overtime and we got one taken from us from overtime.
But that's also a slippery slope there if you're taking all these games to overtime.
One of the things that we're talking about Montreal is they're not...
4 of your last 5 games have gone to overtime now.
Exactly. And that's dancing on the razor's edge.
Yeah.
Part of our problem is we're not small, but we're not big.
Yeah.
So
you guys are fast, though. You skate.
Oh, we skate really good, but what ends up opening? We can't be playing pond hockey in the third period, opening up for the other team to score a goal, and then we end up in overtime. We got to learn to tighten it up in the end. Do you know what I mean?
When are you guys going to give Dobbs more starts, though?
Well, we're going to see because Montembeault played a great game last night, probably his best game of the year. Because even though
agreed.
we were at 6-2, you're looking at it, what was it, less than 6 minutes in the second period last night. That game was tied.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the edge of play, if you were watching the game, could have been saying, who has the edge of play here? Both teams are playing good.
Yeah, there was times Utah looked like the better team last night.
Yes.
No offense to your Habs.
No kidding. And, by the way, what I kept saying every time I looked at the Utah, they big.
Yep. And they skate.
And they skate, and they got solid goaltending.
Yeah.
I don't know where these guys came from, but...
Well, it's because they don't care about Arizona.
Thank you very much. But I'm very impressed with Utah. That Schmaltz guy has stayed in the top 10 in scoring. I just thought it was an aberration that, a guy starts off...
No, that guy's always been pretty good, though. Like, even when he used to play with Chicago, I always thought he was like a solid, like, number 2 center.
This second-line guy. I was looking him up. He seemed to be a good second-line guy. The thing that's surprising me is that their defense is a little bit better than I expected. I don't know none of these guys.
Well, except for Sergachev.
Oh, except for Sergachev. Yeah, but I mean, outside, who do you, any of these guys household names? And guess what? When I check the stats, a couple of these guys are 25 or under.
Yeah, very young team.
You know what I mean? Which bodes well for them in the future, especially how well they played in a form on Saturday night. I thought they laid an egg.
I mean, I know a few of these guys on their team.
Oh, I know them too, but I mean, they're not like guys who are going to jump out and say, I know them every day. That's for sure. But
a lot of them have played big roles on like
other
good teams before.
Okay, so let's.
Like a few of these guys like have either like been to the finals or like won cups or whatever, right? So
I heard the other night that someone said they have that cool balance of old school, new school on the team is what you need when you're trying to be your first run for a playoffs or establish your place in Utah. You know what I mean? Because they are Arizona, but they're now playing to a new fan base.
Yeah.
Which that justifies for the reason maybe they built a team so they'll be competitive, keep people's bums in the seats kind of deal. But I'm very surprised at the way they're playing, and I don't think that they're going away.
No, definitely not.
What do you think, but when we're around the league, when we're talking about everybody being over 500, who's the frauds and who's not? Now, I want to bring up a team that I want you to start talking about because I know you hate them and you can't give them the time of the day, but what do you think of the New Jersey Devils at this point?
I mean, they're a very good team.
Very, very good team. The game yesterday, them in Pittsburgh, was one of the best hockey games I've seen all year, which gets me to my point being, whatever you're thinking about New Jersey, I think that Pittsburgh has to be undoubtedly one of the biggest surprises in the NHL.
Oh, hands down.
No
Hands
doubt about
down.
it. Like, we what was the talk? When would the fire sales start?
Yeah, they were like the
Thanksgiving,
one
Christmas?
team in the league that everyone was like, oh, they're the only team here that's, trying to not win, basically.
That's what they're saying. I don't see that. You see Crosby
Oh.
out there? Oh, and
my
you
God,
know
he's
what
a beast. Top 10.
But you know what I really like about that team, we're pointing it out, is obviously they drafted well because they're sneaky good third and fourth line players are kids that are playing their
There's the
ass.
rookie that's been kicking ass.
That's what I'm saying. And they're holding it up. And that old defense.
Yeah, what's his name? Shea or whatever?
Yeah, the Kindle kid, isn't
Kindle, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been
Ben
playing.
Kindle.
And they got a big winger that's going up and down the sides. I forget his name, playing his ass off, not scoring enough, but he's holding his own on both ends of the ice, which bodes well for Pittsburgh because they were supposed to be not so solid in their own back end. But look at they're
but Crosby and Malkin turning back the clock.
100%. I seen Malkin drag the puck for like 45 seconds at least twice yesterday. Just hang on. It's like old school Malkin.
And yeah. And they picked up Anthony Mantha off the scrap heap. He's got 7 goals in 16 games.
Where did he come from? But look who he's playing with.
Well, Mantha's been around. He's just a little bit of a problem between the ears, people would say, with him. Like he's got all the tools, but
I agree.
Yeah.
But he's playing in a situation, like you say, it's always a fit on a team. Where do you go and where do you fit? As opposed to Michelli, who can't find a fit in Toronto yet, and maybe he will. Mantha went into Pittsburgh and found the fit. It's just weird how hockey goes that way sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't think Pittsburgh's going away.
No, I don't think so.
Because I think Sid's in the dressing room saying, we keep playing like this, we don't have to listen to the press.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So keep going, boys. They've been very competitive. As a matter of fact, when you look at it, I think their goal differential was very surprising to me.
Agreed.
Because when you go up and down the league, okay, we're all over 500, so to speak. But one of the big barometers we always say is, what's your goal differential?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's around 500, but Pittsburgh's got a plus 10 after 16 games.
Yeah,
goal
bodes
differential
well.
Bodes very well for the way that they're playing hockey, in my opinion. Which even looks like another team that nobody's talking about, and they've played the least amount of games, and they're sitting there, and we're going to find out tonight when they come into Toronto. What are you saying about the Carolina Hurricanes, who I predicted
I predicted them to win the President's Trophy.
These guys are playing great hockey, both ends, 4 solid lines, and defensemen that hit. You know what I mean? Do you think Seth Jarvis is perhaps maybe should get more credit than he's been getting?
Well, I mean, of course, he's a Team Canada guy.
Guy's playing outstanding hockey. What's the other guy, the Russian or the Finnish guy that scores goals for him? Oh, that looks like a mess.
Svechnikov?
Yeah. Playing
Former number 1 pick.
That's what I'm saying. Playing very, very good hockey, coming into his own the same way that Gauthier guy on Anaheim's coming in. These guys, you forget them. Sometimes you take a couple years, because what's he now, 22, 23?
Oh, Svechnikov a little older than
Maybe
that.
a little
Probably
older
24, 25 now.
Took him a long time to come around, but he's a solid two-way player.
I wouldn't say that. He's always been he came out of the league pretty good.
But I expected more from him from a scoring point
Because he's the
of
number
view.
1 pick?
Yeah.
But I mean, that can work against you sometimes.
Okay, so let's look at the little weird thing that's going on, and you're going to tell me I'm completely nuts, but I'm going to look at it from this perspective. Their first-line center is Kokamini, and he's playing solid hockey.
Sure.
And he's still young, and he's had a lot of experience. So, I'm not saying he's going to burn up the league or anything like that, but
He's fine.
He's fine. That's what I mean. Everybody on the team want a fourth-line center like him. They'd take it.
Yeah.
I think Lawton's going to be in that position for you guys.
I think so, too.
You know what I'm saying? When you want that fourth line, and especially that I found out Lawton can kill penalties. Kokamini's been killing penalties.
Yeah.
So when you put that all together, they're going to be there. Anything else in the Eastern Conference that's surprising
New York Rangers got shut out at home again last night, 5-0 to the Islanders.
Meanwhile, on a celebration night in Detroit the night before, they win 4-1.
New York, why can they not figure it out at home? This is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in my life. Not only can they not win, they can't score at home.
I think it was the guys on Prime that were saying, that whole crew on Prime, they were pointing out the fact that there's different guys like Bizanet, and I forget the other guy in the panel, so they've all played in the league at different times.
Right.
During different generations. And to a point, none of these guys can explain what the hell is going on at Madison Square Garden.
It's bizarre.
Unbelievable. What have they scored at home? 3 goals? I don't know.
Let me quickly look that up. It's embarrassing.
I think that they are in huge trouble already.
No kidding.
But They're 7-7-2. 0-6-1 at home, 7-1-1 on the road.
So, okay.
How long does that hold up,
so
bro?
they've scored 6 goals at home, but 5 of them were from a 6-5 win. Or 5 of them were for a 6-5 loss against San Jose.
There you go. That's just absolutely bizarre.
And then the other one was against Calgary. Or no. Is it just those? Oh, another one was a 3-1 loss to Minnesota at home. But that's it. 6 goals at home so far. That's pathetic.
What are you thinking about when we see the Florida Panthers? Are they just in a holding pattern?
I mean, we knew it was going to be tough without Barkov.
Agreed.
And without Kachuk. Those are their 2 best players. I think we can agree on that.
I agree. Are they supposed to have some kind of defensive prowess? Yes. Why are they sitting at a -6?
Well, we talked about this before. Regular season, that'll get you through the playoffs, but regular season, you got to score goals.
There you go. And they're at a
Marchand's been playing like a man possessed, but
one of the things that we should shout out to, and everyone knows I'm not a Marchand fan, but this guy's credit as a human being that I should get to know more off the court, which is coming out more. Yeah, he's vermin on the ice. I'm not going to get away from that. But the fact that his best friend lost his wife to a battle with cancer, and he took the time out to go down there and help to coach that team because they were going through such a tragedy. They didn't want to cancel the games, but he took his professional career and put it on hold because sometimes life is bigger than sport. And
agreed.
I cannot, me of all people, giving Marshall, I got to give him credit. Amazing humanitarian gesture, especially when this guy's his closest family. They've known each other since, what is it? Pee Wee hockey.
Right.
They grew up together. So to me, huge shout out to him and everybody in life. Remember this, whatever you're doing, family and friends are the most important thing you have in the family, and they come above any sporting event that you could possibly involve in.
Always.
Mm-hmm. But
family first at the house that happens.
Thank you very much. But the other thing you got to realize is that same with the Toronto Maple Leafs. You can't give away games early.
No.
And speaking of giving the games away, look where Atlanta is right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the NFL for you. In any event, I just think that we're going to have a fascinating time talking about where this Eastern Conference goes before we turn to the Western Conference. And one of the teams that I'm starting to wonder, are they for real or not for real? How are Steve Yzerman and the boys doing in Detroit?
I mean, well, did you ask Rob about it last night? He's a Red Wings fan. Do you get his take?
He's comfortable, he said.
I know he's not that comfortable. Robbie, if you're listening, you can correct me on that, but
-1 goal differential with a 9-6 record.
Goaltending hasn't been as...
I thought it would be better. Remember me saying I think they got the duo?
I thought so too, especially when they got Gibson. I'm like, Gibson-Talbot, that's going to be a tandem.
I thought so too, but they let in a couple of freaking goals against the Rangers the other night that I went,
yeah,
oh my God.
But also, don't forget, like whenever it's like one of those ceremony nights, that can really work against the home team.
That's what you keep telling me, and I'm going to keep my eye on that.
You see it a lot, banner-raising nights. Like the home teams never win those games.
Okay, so let's take it one step further here. Detroit seems to have this record. They're 9-6, so they're in the hunt. They're playing better than expected. They're going to be there.
They're scoring.
And they're scoring. They give up some horrible goals from both goaltenders.
Yeah.
Those backbreaker goals.
Well, both guys are .890 save percentage guys this year.
Thank you very much.
That's a red flag.
So let's put it this way. It was 1-1. New York scored a very good goal to go ahead 2-1, but go back and look to the goal that put them ahead 3-1.
Yeah, there you go.
9-iron. One of those 9-irons. Pitching, the guy was digging it out of the freaking bunker, and I went in the net. I went, oh, come on, guys. And then just a balloon, let the air out of the balloon, and game over, and Detroit lost. But I think Detroit's going to be, they're not going away.
No.
But am I going to say they're a shoe-in for the playoffs? No.
So we're running a little bit long on time here. We're going to save Team Canada watch for next week.
Oh, okay.
Ovi's 900th goal was a game winner in the Capitals' 6-1 victory over St. Louis on Wednesday. St. Louis is pathetic, by the way.
What happened to them?
I can't figure it out. I got to watch their games a little bit more closely.
I have, and every game they just look like they get bitch slapped.
It's the same guys as last year, though. That's the weird part.
So is Bennington a shoe-in for the thing we'll talk about next week? Is he a shoe-in for Team Canada just because he's Bennington?
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Well, Canada goalies, that's another problem entirely.
Okay, we'll get to that down the road next time, Logan Thomas.
But Bennington, obviously, a little bit of a head case, tries to steal the Ovechkin puck in his pants.
I love it. I love it. That sportsman, that's just doing it. You knew he wasn't going to get away with it.
Yeah, obviously.
But it was pretty freaking funny when it went down. You know what I mean? That's a
I have a problem with it.
sense of bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Everybody knew what he was doing.
There's also a little bit of, in there too, right?
Oh, of course it was. And I ain't getting this back, motherfucker. How many score on me? Kind of deal. But I thought it was like, that's one of those lights moments in sports you got to respect.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no one got hurt.
No one got hurt. It was all good.
And Dallas is going to host the 2027 Stadium Series at Jerry World, AT&T Field, February 20th. The opponent is still to be determined.
And Jerry World is going ching-ching again. You know what I mean? Before we get away, because we have been talking too much about hockey, and we are on the West.
We got to talk about our picks from last night. So
okay, well, we'll get in a minute here. I just
want 9-7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we didn't pick too bad. I just want
choosing Vancouver and Anaheim were the difference.
Okay, and let's yes, exactly. Now let's take it one step further here. One of the rules I made when I met this great group of guys that come in and watched hockey last night, what's the two things that they said they were not allowed to do? Talk badly about Matt Stafford or Macklin Celebrini. And where do we have Celebrini in our state of the hockey right now?
He is first in points, with Bedard not far behind.
God bless him. But, okay, this is the only thing I want to say about Team Canada, and we'll move on from hockey really quickly. Here is this. If it comes
so technically Celebrini is number 2 right now because McKinnon is tied on points, but McKinnon's got more goals.
Okay, we'll put it that way. But right now,
either way,
Jesus comes down and says to you, Andrew Milani, you can only have one guy to play for Team Canada, Bedard or Celebrini. Who you take in?
Well, I'd say Bedard just to stick it to you a little
bit. Piss me off.
Yeah.
Okay, but come on, the way that he's played. I mean, Bedard's played good too, and he's got that solid young guy. The Russian, is he? Who's the guy on his wing?
Are you talking about that Khrushchev guy?
Or whatever, yeah. Is he Russian?
I believe so.
Guy's playing great. And another thing about him, let's give some shout out and some love to that freaking Chicago goaltender.
Yes.
Give him Knight, his name?
Spencer Knight.
Let's give that kid some credit. He's kept him into some games, I'm telling you. You know what I mean? So
have you seen the top 5 in NHL scoring recently?
Yes, I have.
So number 1, McKinnon. Number 2, Celebrini. Number 3, Leo Carlson on Anaheim.
Unbelievable.
He's a guy I've been hyping up the last couple of years.
And who's he playing on a line with?
Is he playing with Cutter Gauthier?
Yes, he is. We seen it last night, remember?
Yep.
Okay.
And then Bedard, McKinnon. Bedard, McDavid, 4-5.
Oh, and by the way, if you go down a little further, don't we have a guy like Crosby in the top 10 still?
I mean, I imagine so. He is tied for 10th.
Tied for 10th, and it's early in the year. God bless Sid. It's been great. You know what I mean? Got a lot to talk about. We will get away, spend more time with the West, but I'm very disappointed in what Vegas has done in losing their last 2 games because I've been really hyping them up. And losing both games at home, looking lazy at the end. They gave that game away to Anaheim last night on that freaking bullshit.
Is it a certain MM effect?
No, he played great last night. You've seen him. He played great. He played great. He was one of their best players in 2 losses. But they looked lazy in the third period, didn't they? I think we got him.
Vegas turned it on at the end, though.
What's that?
They were behind. They came from behind, though, Vegas.
Yeah, they did. But when they tied it, they thought they were pretty convinced they were going to get something out of this.
I don't know about that. They're putting the pressure on overtime. I think it's just typical 3-on-3 overtime. Like, you have that
Weird
hard on
goal.
go,
Yeah.
and then boom, that one back.
That shitty goal.
As a Leaf fan, I've seen that tons of times.
Oh, well, as a Hab fan, I've seen it more than twice. Habs all. But it was a kind of a cheesy goal.
It is.
The red light went on.
Yep.
Red light went on.
So for our head-to-head hockey Saturday night picks, now you've won 3, I've won 2, but I have the tiebreaker. I have 34 total picks. You have 32.
That's pretty damn close.
Yeah.
And considering how many games that we picked the same, just because if you don't pick them, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But you took Anaheim last night.
I did.
I took Vegas. That's a big difference there. I took the Oilers.
Me too. Wah, wah.
Did you see the Knoblog press conference?
No, we got to move this off hockey, though.
Okay. Damage control is done.
Damage control is done. Okay. We'll move this on to soccer. I don't have much to say about the MLS playoffs. I know those are going on, but we have my top 5 power rankings for teams in Europe.
Let's hear them.
Number 5, they were not on my list last week. They are perfect in Champions League, and they are number 2 in their domestic league. I got Inter.
Yes.
Number 4, they were number 3 on my list last week. They're number 1 in their domestic league. I got Paris Saint-Germain.
Yes, but didn't they get hurt?
But they're not perfect in Champions League anymore. You notice I didn't say that.
Yeah, okay. Number 4 though, they deserve to be there.
They fell down a spot though. Okay. Number 3, they were number 4 last week. They're number 1 in their domestic league, and they are still perfect in Champions League. A team you love to shout out, Arsenal.
Thank you. I was hoping they'd stay there. The Gunners.
Yes.
The Gunners. They play good, though, eh?
We'll get to that a little bit later.
Okay.
Number one, they are not perfect this season anymore, but they are still number one in their league. Oh, sorry. I mixed up a little bit. Number two, so they were number one on my list last week. They're number one in their domestic league.
What?
It's Real Madrid.
Oh, okay.
And then number one, they're first in their domestic league. Not perfect overall, but they're perfect in Champions League. Bayern Munich.
Thank you very much. We should have left the game on. Wasn't Real Madrid just winning? They're playing their league game on. I was watching.
I think the game finished.
I think it finished. I think they won. They're a fast team. I like the way they play.
Yeah, Barcelona falling out of my top 5.
Well, you know why?
Well,
you know what? Well. Okay, I've been watching this afternoons because I got the multi-screens on and I just leave the games on. I don't know who's playing. I know the big guys and stuff like that. But it's just like when you're watching football or you're watching hockey. There's a certain style of play that almost goes to the countries.
Well, I mean, everyone in Europe kind of plays the same.
You think?
Yeah.
Don't you think Spanish teams play a little faster?
In the Spanish leagues a little bit.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a lesson.
I would say a lot of that's just down to like the talent pool. Because English is a little bit tighter, but I think that's because they have more money and there's just better players there. Meanwhile, like in Germany,
defensively it tightens up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And I would say in England and Italy, you see that the most. Meanwhile, like
Italy
Germany, France, and Spain, it's a little bit more open.
Yeah, I find, but no. Okay, Germany, you find a little bit more open.
Way more open. Bundesliga is insane for goals.
Okay,
I just thought it was any given week you can see like a 7-1
5 goals.
game.
Yeah. Okay, but I always thought it was this way because when I see Bayern Munich play, I think their back end is pretty solid.
Okay, but the rest of the teams in the German league aren't like that though.
Okay, because that's what I'm going to say. Is that the difference?
That's what I'm saying. Where, like, to an extent, all these teams kind of play the same style.
Okay, so you're looking at Real Madrid, and I think they play a little bit.
Real Madrid.
They play a little bit faster to me, and I say Bayern Munich plays more structurally from a defensive position. You know what I'm trying to say? But you're telling me I'm wrong, and I should look a little bit closer.
I would say Bayern is a little bit more like.
I think they're a machine.
They're kind of classic
German
counterattack.
engineering.
Yeah, they're counterattack. Which you start off with a strong defense, but then you kind of just like boom, break it up quickly offensively.
They got some guys that run.
Yeah,
they got some guy on that team. Where is he from? I don't know if he's from Africa or whatever, but I think he's from down there. They have some guy. I just noticed him. He's just he looks too big to be playing soccer.
You should give me a name next time.
I'll write it down, but I'm going to circle it down. When I just seen him, I looked. I go, this guy, because you don't see a lot of 6'5" or 6'4" soccer players.
Nah, that's not true.
Do you? How many guys are big? The guy on Manchester.
Especially defenders and strikers, you'll see some big guys. Yeah. And goalies, too.
Oh, no, the goalies, I always notice they seem to be the biggest guy on the team, but that's another story.
So around the leagues, Milan defeated Roma 1-0 in Milan on Sunday. Sunderland held Arsenal to a 2-2 draw at home on Saturday, tying the match in the 94th minute. So crazy. This weekend in Premier League, the top 4 teams all played each other. So Sunderland, Arsenal, and then we have Man City versus Liverpool today.
Oh, I hope that'll be on. That should be on right now, right?
I think it should be on soon. Bayern's historic win streak to open the season with 16 wins ended with a 2-2 draw at Union Berlin. Kane tied that match in the 90th minute to keep them still undefeated. And then we also have Lyon versus PSG today. But of course, it was the Champions League week. Liverpool topped Real Madrid 1-0 on Tuesday. Alexis McAllister.
Was that an upset?
A little bit, I would say, based on how they came in. Liverpool's been a little up and down to start. Still very good in Champions League, but in their domestic league.
I was watching the commentary on that, and the announcers made it sound, but they were English, made it sound like Liverpool pulled an upset. And I thought, Liverpool?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah. Okay. I would say Madrid had a lot more hype coming into the season.
Oh, okay.
And I know Liverpool had that season last year, but like that kind of felt like a little bit of like a last dance kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't know if they're as strong this year, but either way, Alexis McAllister with the 61st minute winner there and the lone goal, obviously. PSG fell to Bayern Munich 2-1. Luis Diaz with the brace. He had 2 goals and was also given a red card all in the first half.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Arsenal came out of Slavia Praha with a 3-0 win. Mikel Merino with 2 goals. Max Daumann makes the youngest debut in UEFA Champions League history. 15 years, 308 days old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Napoli can only muster a 0-0 draw at home versus Frankfurt. Atletico Madrid, one of your squads, won 3-1 against Union Saint-Gilloise.
I didn't even know who they were.
They're a Belgian team. I think we talked about them before.
Right, that's what, because I seen the score and I was going, who are those guys? I like Atletico Madrid.
It's not just the Big Five that send their teams to Champions League. Don't forget
Agreed.
Tottenham was all over Copenhagen in a 4-0 victory. Juventus drew Sporting 1-1 at home. Manchester City won 4-1 versus Dortmund on Wednesday. Haaland with a goal in that one. Chelsea comes out of Karabag with a 2-2 draw. Club Brugge holds it down for a 3-3 draw, hosting Barcelona. That's a little bit of an upset there.
Yes.
Benfica fell at home 1-0 to Leverkusen. Inter defeated Karat 2-1. And Atalanta goes into Marseille and won 1-0.
You know what surprised me when I look at the scores? Because I always thought that the home is supposed to be so dominant. And a lot of surprisingly big teams lost at home.
Yes, it
in
was.
Champions this week, eh?
It was a little bit like the NFL where some things just did not go
Carolina
the way
beating Green Bay kind of deal. Yeah, I noticed that. And they were talking that. I'm trying to get more schooled, but I did notice the score and I go, wow, these teams are losing at home? Interesting.
Thank God I did not bet that much money. Also, though I did put a few long shot bets for Inter and Chelsea to win Champions League. They were a little bit long odds, so that could be a good value buy.
I like your Chelsea pick.
Yeah.
They're sleeper. People are starting to talk about them. You already put money on them to win it all? Would you get?
Oh, it was
plus what?
It was pretty good odds. I put one of those EW bets where if they also make it to the finals, they cover.
Okay, cool.
Let me pull that up quickly.
In any event,
we should get a gambling sponsorship if we're going to talk about this.
Yeah, that's true. We'll get in on that. In any event,
I put $3 on Chelsea at plus 2,000.
Oh,
and then a few bucks on Inter at plus 2,500.
Why not?
Yeah,
can't hurt at all.
Inter, I was surprised they had that long odds. Either way,
not getting the respect they deserve, perhaps.
Possibly not, which could work against the system, I suppose. But anything else you want to add for soccer?
No, not at all. I just can't understand. Now it looks like we're going to have another overtime football game, but I regress.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We'll move this over to the NBA where the Toronto Raptors all of a sudden looking pretty hot despite a little bit of a disappointing performance in Philadelphia last night, which we kind of saw
Scheduled loss.
Yeah, that game really slipped away from them, in the third, fourth quarters?
Looked like they had tired legs. It was 3 games and 4 nights.
Yeah, really? Yeah. So, actually, Toronto had a really bad second quarter.
Yes, they did.
Outscored 35-20.
Yep.
And then the fourth quarter,
never recovered, even though they did play well. But at that time, though, that was when Embiid had that couple crazy threes. Remember, they had about 3 or 4 threes, and they just rained for a minute, and they didn't recover from it. But hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah, Toronto was having trouble in the paint. It looked like last night.
They're on the defensive end. They're having a little trouble, but they're considered one of the top 5 teams playing interior offense. And remember, they got 3 guys averaging 20, which is nobody else in the league has. And Ingram is getting more comfortable finding his position every game, even though he was livid last night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wonder what that did for the team chemistry when they went in there. Barnes didn't look too happy. Because, remember, hit the bottle of water, went out on everybody, everyone was pissed.
Yeah.
But it was a situation in
the game. It's a division rival, too, right?
Hey, that's a team they got to deal with. But it's okay right now because the Raptors are 5-5, and considering that they started off with that horrendous
8th in the East.
8th in the East. 1-3 start, 1-4 start?
Yeah, 1-4 start.
And 2 of the games, as I pointed out, they got hit by rain. Those games where they just rained down. Like, people had their best percentages of shooting threes on that night. So I'm very comfortable with the Raptors' position. As a matter of fact, I'm really like the rotation. I like the rookie kid. I think Graydon Dick's going to give us a little more. I think our problem is we got to find someone to play beside Porto. Because
someone coming off the bench to cover for him?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Now, with that guy that we got with the funny name from Europe, what's his name? Molowski? Let me look up his name right here really quick. Where did we find this guy?
Mamu Kalavsky.
Well, yeah,
oh, my God. I don't even think I got that right.
Where did we find this guy?
He came from San Antonio.
I don't know where he was coming from. He is just...
He played in 60 games last year.
Yeah, but he only played, 10 minutes
a game? Yeah, averaging 11 minutes.
Yeah, he didn't play a lot, and they were a little bit deeper. I guess he didn't fit in their plan. This guy, you need that dirty work guy in your basketball team? We've seen him.
Maybe he could step up then.
That's what I'm hoping. And what is he, 23, 24, 25? He's had some European experience.
He's 26.
Yeah, he had some European experience, and he came over.
He's been in the NBA the last 5 years, though.
5, has he?
Yeah. Maybe he's been a little bit in G League in that time, too. But
something like that. Anyways, he's just been a revelation to me. Because I never heard of the guy, never paid attention to him, and I knew that we had picked him up. But the fact is, every NBA team's got to have that guy that's willing to do that dirty work. He does that, and you got another kid coming off the bench. But I'm very happy with the Raptors and the position that they're in right now.
Grady Dick seems to have a little bit of a hard time finding his way out in a bench role, though.
Because where they're bringing him out and putting him in, you know what I mean? Who does he sub for? Like, I don't think he's going to find his way. He can still shoot.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And his defense hasn't been lacking. I just think we're going to get more out of him before the end of the year.
Yeah, I hope so.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's more of a thing due to circumstances than
exactly.
Anything else.
He's getting tricked by circumstances. But very quickly, we're not going to spend a lot of time in the NBA because I know why I'm sitting beside my accomplice.
Got to talk about your boy Ja.
He's coming to Toronto.
He is absolutely not coming to Toronto.
He's coming to Toronto.
If he goes to Toronto, I will stop him at the airport and say, buddy, I'm paying for your ticket to fly you back to Memphis.
But I already freaking got a cage for his pit bull.
Aren't those illegal here in Canada?
I don't know. I'm just joking.
They are.
I don't know what's going on there, but you see Ja's last game, he looked like Ja. Change of scenery needed? Keep his dad at home?
He's a diva. He's too much of a diva, man.
I don't know if he's a diva, but there's like one thing. I love the guy to death, but I'm going to tell you one time, you got to change that gangster. You got to separate the two.
Oh, well.
You got to separate the two. I think coming to Toronto, he'd have a whole new look. He'd find a nice place in the city. The diversity would attract him. He could hang out with Drake, and away we go.
That might be worse for him if he hangs out with Drake.
I'm just going to ask you this, and you know what? I've seen it on NBA shows when they say most likely landing spots for Ja. Toronto's name comes up all the time.
What do those guys know?
Well, then why doesn't New Orleans' name come up every time? Or why doesn't freaking Philadelphia's name come up all the time? Where there's smoke, you got to take a look at it.
I don't buy that.
Okay, then next time you go online, you look at NBA sites and they say possible landing spots for
What
Ja
credibility
Morant.
do these guys have?
What's his name? Shareem.
Oh, my God.
Shareem, what's his name? The big insider in the NBA? Shams. He don't deny. He's not saying yes, but he ain't saying no. So what does he know? He's sitting on the fence. But every time when he was.
So what would we have to give up to get Ja?
That's what I'm asking you. What are we willing to give up for Ja?
Probably quickly.
Okay, so what happened in the offseason? There was minor throwing out there about R.J. Barrett and Quickly. Now that you see them together, I think Quickly's going to find his way. His shooting's going to get better. Do you take away from the chemistry of the team, or you just know that Ja Morant is 3 times as good as Lively, so we won't have to worry about the offense? Because,
another reason to not trade for Ja. It might ruin the chemistry.
But then what would happen is we let R.J. Barrett go. I'd be scared to do that.
I'd be scared to do that too.
Because I kept telling you he's going to ascend, and he's starting to do that.
Because what is like Quickly, Grady Dick, and I don't know.
Oh, no, but I'm thinking that, no, the word is that if there's going to be a deal in Memphis, their number one shot that they want in the deal is R.J. Barrett. I don't know if I'm willing to let him go.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm willing to do that either.
Say they did this.
Good, we're on the same page. Ja's not coming to Toronto.
No. Just end it on this note. What if you did package R.J. Quickly and a pick? We get Ja. Does that open up the door for Graydon Dick to have more opportunity on the floor, or will he not be able to fill in as much as R.J. Barrett, or we hope he ascends the way that Barrett does?
Okay, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And then we got the kid with the 2 names, our rookie kid. That guy's going to be a dog. Gives them more minutes in there. Will that improve? Like, you're not going to take away from the offense?
I'm just scared about what Ja would do to the dressing room.
I don't know. Maybe he would play gangster rap. I don't know. They all look the same to me. I don't know. I'm just saying that you're right.
And playing gangster rap in the dressing room, I don't think's the issue.
No, I think it's a little bit more. I think he's wore out his stay. Memphis and him are not getting along. Obviously, it's him and the coach.
Of course.
Okay, so that happens to a lot of players.
Well, that's not going to happen here in Toronto?
Maybe he gets along with Darko a lot better.
Maybe he gets along worse.
That's listen. I'm hoping he comes here, but I really think that it's the same chance that Tennessee has got to win the Super Bowl. Okay,
I can get behind that.
Okay, in any event.
Anything else for basketball?
No, but let's shout out to the Shays, the Lucas. Who else am I missing? We've seen some outstanding performances by top guys in the NBA in the first 10 days of this season that you have to give them credit for. Take a look what's going on. Wembanyama. Just
some beasts, yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean? But their performances on the court, I've seen a few games, outstanding. Look out for the Lakers. They've been doing it on freaking pins and needles, and they're going to have LeBron, Luka, Ayton, Reeves, Marcus Smart, perfect fit for that team. What's his name? Huminga, whatever they were going to send out or whatever. Lakers are serious.
All right. One more, or I guess a couple more segments. It's 20 minutes till football starts, so we'll try and finish it until then. We have a little bit of CFL here to talk about. So Coach Dinwiddie leaving the Argos for coach and GM job of Ottawa through at least 2028. A little bit surprising.
Got the GM job.
But I mean, yeah, it's a more power. So
there you go. Yeah, more autonomy.
And then we had the division championships, division finals this weekend. Montreal winning in Hamilton 19-16, and BC losing in Saskatchewan 21-24.
I wish we really had paid more attention to that game because that was a good game. The Argo-Hamilton game, meh. But
Montreal-Hamilton, you mean?
Yeah, Montreal-Hamilton game.
I predicted Montreal would win that, though. Defense travels.
I watched a lot of the highlights, and when you guys left, I sat up and had another beer and were just watching the games because we were replaying and stuff. That BC-Saskatchewan, BC let it slip out of their hands.
It looked like that from what I saw.
Yeah, they let it slip out of their hands. Because then Nathan would have a chance to go to the Grey Cup, was what you wanted to do because the quality of his quarterbacking says they should.
And the Canadian quarterback content, too. Come on.
Thank you very much. Would have been very good. But anyway, we got looks like we have the match for the Grey Cup next week.
Montreal, Saskatchewan.
Here we go. And where is it at again? Winnipeg?
I think it's in Winnipeg.
Saskatchewan's going to win this. The whole place will be green.
I don't know, man.
Montreal going to have enough interest to bring it on the road. I don't know.
Montreal won the Grey Cup 2 years ago.
Yes, and I think I got a team, but I'm just saying as fans traveling.
The Montreal fans travel.
Just, you know what?
Quebec's a very underrated football province. Don't forget,
especially on a college level too.
Yeah.
In any event, I just hope it's a great Grey Cup.
Yeah, and that will be next weekend, next Sunday.
Yes, it will be
6 o'clock.
We'll keep our eye on it.
Absolutely. Formula One. They are in Brazil right now. We're actually watching the race right now on the screen, but Lando coming away with the sprint victory. Piastri, another choke job.
Our favorite guy.
Yeah, I'm just feeling bad for the guy. I don't know what else. Wow, Max worked his way up all the way to number 4, starting from 19th in the race here today.
I wanted to whisper that to you, but I was looking over and going, you know what I mean? He's insane.
Well, do you see qualifying? I guess the recording messed up, but he out in Q1 he qualified 16th plus the grid penalty, so he was just screwed from jump.
Yeah, and we heard his quote.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But let's talk about the magnitude of this driver as we look up and it's live in real time. The man is in 4th place. Racer of the day.
Oh, absolutely. And this is a track that he just loves to.
He said a lot about it. And how many we got lots of time left, but no. The pace on the McLaren cars are if they're smart, why don't they just have a handshake deal in right now and then they finish 1 and 2, protect each other for the rest of the race? Why not?
I don't know. They're only a few points apart for the championship, so that might have a couple things to do with how this race finishes off.
Like in the perhaps maybe 54 laps when they turn each other into a wall.
Yeah. But also you got to mention Bortoleto crashing out at the end of the sprint race. Then he actually crashed out here in the race as well. Maybe trying a little bit too hard in his home race. You got to feel for the rookie.
Yeah, okay, he did so. But that other rookie we have from Italy, look what place he's in again, in his Mercedes car.
Yeah, top 5 right now.
What's happening with your Ferrari team today?
What's going on with Ferrari all the time?
Oh, just rough day at the office. This might cost them.
I told you they're not going to. I told you they're not going to get a single win the rest of the year. Wow. Just holding on for next year, man. Maybe they'll get it better than I don't know.
Disappointing when you're looking at the standings right now. Leclerc's having a beer.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
An angry beer.
Oh, I don't want to have it with him.
No, me neither.
Okay, I don't want to have it with him, that's for sure. I like the guy, but he's having angry beer right now, no doubt about it.
So we're a couple weeks away from Vegas, and then after that kicks off a triple header: Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi to finish off the year.
All fun races.
Yeah. I mean, Abu Dhabi's a little bit overrated, but it's the last one of the year. So
isn't one of the one in Vegas doesn't start till about 10 o'clock at night?
Don't remind me.
Why?
It's post midnight. I think it starts.
Maybe we should have a viewing party.
Am I going to be able to make it to the end without falling asleep?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's funny.
It starts at like midnight or something, doesn't it?
I forget his name. The guy was familiar sitting beside me. Sorry, buddy. I'm terrible with names.
Rob?
Yeah, when he said to me, you don't fall asleep.
It's a 1 a.m. start for Vegas.
I'll be up. Anyways, I was interested when he said that.
I remember that conversation.
No, I don't fall asleep, and I don't take a nap. But you will ask my loving wife that she says when I come to bed and I turn off the TV, I'm out. Sleep my about 8 hours, get up.
Anything you want to add for Formula One?
No, I'm just interested in what's going to happen for the rest of this race, which we will tell you next time. We see you. Look at Max has even got better pace, doesn't he? He's increased the pace.
I don't know if I'd say that.
No, it's not going to happen.
We'll move this into a Blue Jays epilogue.
Okay,
Since you didn't get to talk, so just a few things I want to mention just before we get to the meat and potatoes. So Game 7 averaged 51 million viewers, the most watched baseball game since Game 7 of the 1991 World Series.
Oh, by the way, that doesn't include Japanese or...
I thought it did include Japanese. And
is that the whole world?
I think so.
I thought it was just America.
I don't believe so. John Schneider, finalist for AL Manager of the Year. Ty France winning the AL Gold Glove at first base, the first of his career. George Springer, the lone Jays winner for the Silver Slugger, won it for a DH in the American League.
I think the Americans just ignored us. I think we should have got more hardware than we did.
It was a weird... The winners all around were weird, though.
I agree.
I question if these guys even watched the game. Kirk, the biggest snub of all time for the Gold Glove.
No doubt. I
don't know how we didn't get that.
No doubt.
And...
Vladdy over France should have been to me.
I thought so, too.
I'm flabbergasted at that.
It was just bizarre.
Okay.
Don Mattingly leaving the Toronto Blue Jays, seemingly to pursue either front office or another managerial job.
Good for him.
Seems to be the consensus.
Yeah. Sorry to see him go.
Yeah, Donnie Baseball, You will be missed.
You know what my opinion of that was? I was just saying when Schneider screwed up, they'd have Mattingly to step in. I thought that and everything went better than they expected. So Mattingly said, my time has come. What do you think?
I don't know.
Who else? Say that we didn't go 16-20 and we were like 16-30. Schneider would have been on the hot seat and they fired him. Who would have stepped in?
Probably Mattingly, but
that's what I'm saying.
Maybe.
I always thought he was a safety valve that we didn't need him. But he was very invaluable.
Of course.
Very invaluable in the dugout.
He will be missed. And Shane Bieber exercising his $16 million option to return to the Blue Jays for one more season. Very excited
Shane.
about that.
That's very good. So let's cut to the chase here. I didn't even show up for the show last week, okay? You know why I didn't show up for the show? Because I was so freaking pissed. This one stung badly. So I have to say, I had a little video made. I was going to send it out there to tell everybody I was feeling. And then I heard my accomplice do the show by himself last week, which was absolutely painful, bro. I want to thank you for having the gumption to have the microphone in your hand 12 hours after we have to deal with that because I wasn't going to deal with it. Considering I sat in the spot where I'm sitting right now and did not move for about 3 hours.
Now, come on, man. The show must go on.
I agree, but I mean, I'm glad to be saying it here now, and I just want to put it this way. It was in my 40 years living here, everyone knows I'm not as Toronto-centric as all the other people that watch sports, but it just knows how much that you are a real disciple of a team when a loss like that stings this bad. And anything associated with Toronto, that's the first one that really burned in my whole lifetime of living here. Because and my buddies know this, which had to be honestly with me. I was not on the Blue Jay train back when they were winning the World Series back in the 90s. I couldn't cop to any of that. As a matter of fact, I was just a sideline guy until the strike came on. And as I told you last night, you end up rooting for the home team. So with that being said, there's just a few things I just got to say about what I've learned with the Toronto run going to the World Series. And first of all, we got to be proud of our city, bro. Well, everything that went on in our city, how it was broadcast around the nation, over North America, you could not find anybody that said anything negative about the city. The positivity alone about that, the feeling at the Dome, I want to shout out to every crowd that was there, because even you see in the game 6 and 7, even though the games are close, the LA crowds would kind of like, the Toronto crowd kept energy from the first pitch till the game was over. In those games, which is absolutely tough to do when you're a crowd, considering you not know which way the game is going. So huge shout out to our fan base. Number two thing I want to say, when you walk around the streets, anybody that is a disciple of the Toronto Blue Jays found the bandwagoners real quick. I want to say to you guys, glad you got on the job. Glad you bought a piece of merch. Fuck your attitude about what you really thought about the Blue Jays when they lost, because I don't want to hear any of that bullshit from any of them, because some of the shit I heard made me understand there's a difference between you and I, who absolutely love these teams, and those teams that are casual fans. My point of getting there is the Toronto Blue Jays did not choke away the World Series. Can we kill that theory right now?
Okay.
I'm going to say this. There's two things, and I talked to some serious baseball fans, and everyone says, well, 2 games at home with your home record coming home 3-2, isn't that a recipe to win the World Series? Most times it is, but sometimes percentages caught up to you, and some of the percentages, if you look at it for a few seconds, caught up to us, and that's probably why we lost, because the margin of error in this World Series was absolutely slim.
Well, the Jays left too many runners in scoring position.
There you go. So
just on base in general.
Okay, so let's get the choke out of the whole situation, and I'll give you where I am about the whole thing, and I told you guys this last night. It was going to be part of my video about the whole thing is, I thought the baseball gods were not on our side when Gimenez slashed that one to go to left field and Muncy said, oh my God, look what I got. That was the play.
You mean Kiki Hernandez?
No, the one, no, remember the one was he had the guys.
Game 6?
Yeah, the game.
Hernandez was in right field or in left field, and then they threw it to whoever. Who was
but the one that Gimenez was supposed to bunt. No. This was earlier in the game when we had men in second and third, or was first and second, or whatever the case may be, and instead of bunting, he slashed the ball. And Muncy made, look what I found, ice cream cone in my glove catch. Yeah. To me personally, that was the omen of starting to go, because I watched so much baseball, so much momentum, so much of the gods. There's no such thing. That was the play that started it for me, that I went, oh no, why is this happening? If it goes 3 other inches, it's 50 more hits. We scored 2 runs. We scored 2 runs baseball. There. That's game 6, okay? I'm not going to say all the other things that happened in game 6 because we don't have enough time to discuss that. We didn't choke. Circumstances got us. However, when we get to game 7, okay, let's just start out with the fact that wasn't a choke there. We played the way it was. We were so glad that Bo Bichette was in the lineup. He had a 3-run homer. However, let's just say we get tricked by circumstances. What happened the inning before? Bo got a base hit. Glad he's on base. Another base hit. Bo could only go to second base. Another base hit.
Yeah.
Bo could only go to third base. That's a circumstances that any time during the regular season, we score at least run, maybe 2 in that inning. Our problem was this. Gimenez already had his big moment. Varsho already had their big moments. Now they got to come in and do that. When they got out, what happened? They were a product of their percentage. Don't forget the hits they got earlier in the season, because they already did what their percentages said earlier in the series.
Right.
I wish that could have been sometime later in the series, because we would have got 1 or 2 more runs, which is the difference in winning this World Series. But for last and not least, something I've preached all season long, which was what my thing was back when they were 16 and 20. I always taught about our pitching. Let's just say this. At the All-Star break, anybody in this city said that we'd start the All-Star game with our rotation would be Savage, Beaver, and Scherzer? Give me one fan in this city that would have told me. Oh, we always knew Gosman was there. God bless Gosman. He played as good as he did, and shit didn't work out for him. But you know what I mean? People have very short memories when it comes to watching sports and how you got here. Okay? So we flipped the lid. So let's say percentages. Now we're going the game. Everybody's on the table. My dear wife, Gail, is still mad at me because if you had been sitting together when we were watching this and I was telling her what should happen, pitchers that are starting pitchers give up solo home runs. Solo runs don't usually hurt you in games 92, game 116. They might hurt you in game 7 of a World Series. Chris Bassett, who is not my best friend ever, I thought he had a great run for us in the playoffs, did not give up a run until when?
Game 7 of the World Series.
Let's get to the meat and the potatoes here. When Hoffman was coming out to start the 9th inning, were you 100% sure this game was over?
I was confident.
Hey, Gail, come on down here. I'm glad nobody had my synopsis about what was going to happen in the 9th inning when Hoffman was coming out. Can I be 100% honest with you?
You told me this story last night.
There you go. Walking around, smoking a joint, looking the other way, patting Stanley. Number 9 hitter, bro. Number 9 hitter when you're a closer in the World Series. That guy hits home runs as many times as I have dates with Beyonce. Come on. That's the circumstances. And then let's cut to the chase. What finally went down. Another starting pitcher going out there to get us out of an inning, Mr. Bieber, and I'm glad he signed in again. What did he do?
Oh, he allowed a solo homer.
Well, okay,
we talked about this last night as well. How they used their pitchers in Game 7 was a little bit confusing. Not the way I would have done it.
Not the way I would have done it either.
I thought it was going to be Scherzer for let him go whatever it's going to be 4 2/3,
he did
5
his job.
innings.
He did his job.
I thought they were going to piggyback Bieber right off of Scherzer, give Bieber,
which would have been more sense to me.
Give him 2-3 innings,
or they could have even put Bassett in there, and if Bassett only gave up the 1 run along the way,
he would have been my third pitcher out there.
Okay, but I'm agreeing with your thing there. Yeah. Now I agreed that they should have brought Savage out when they did, but I wasn't so sure about bringing him out for the next inning.
Yeah, I agree.
I wasn't. I was sitting on my seat going, oh, shit, smells like solo home run time.
Yeah.
And, who hit that home run? By the way, the guy that was due because his percentages says he weren't there, Mr. Muncy. He was way overdue. Mookie Betts when he got that hit in the 7th game.
Yeah.
Game 6, what was that? The percentages said Mookie's got to get a hit eventually. So... finally, and not least this, is a lot of people that I thought were big-time baseball people that missed this point was this. Once Delgado got to third base with 1 out and Berger's coming
Carlos
up.
Delgado?
I mean, Vladimir Guerrero, I'm thinking in my head. In any event, anybody tell me this. When Delgado was on third base.
Delgado again?
I mean, see how upset I am? See how insane I am about this?
Turning back the clock 20 years.
No, it drove me crazy, bro. I'm just sitting here cringing going, oh, no. And my wife's coming to Gail, so what's going on? And I go, Berger ain't getting a fucking pitch. Notice it was the unintentional, intentional. And why weren't all you Blue Jay fans out there saying they're going to get to Kirk because the percentages of him hitting into what was real? World Series over,
but that
people,
that was a broken back. Come on.
It doesn't matter. The bottom line is that Dave frickin' Roberts made when he brought in Page for the one there, for the catch with Clement with 2 inches more, they just brought him in on the pinch hit play that there. The gods of baseball, fuck you, man, because, come on. I'm just saying I was really happy for the run, and the reason I'm still yelling is because I would have been worse set than this if I had to come on the show last week, and I want to shout out to you, bro, for being able to stand up for the house that happens, because I apparently could not do it, and I'm still pissed.
Hold on, though. Let me frame it this way, though. Would you have rather had the Jays miss the playoffs than losing the World Series?
I would have rather them lost 10-4 in Game 7.
That's not the question.
Of course, you know the answer.
Okay, well,
you can't.
You gotta appreciate. It's tough now, but I think we gotta appreciate it's about the friends we made along the way.
Okay, I'm agree with that. The city, the vibe in the city. That my granddaughter knows shit about baseball. I'm happy about all of that. It's just a little bit more people. Can I just say this? I want to know anybody out there. As a guy that's retired and PVR games has watched as many pitches from the Toronto Blue Jays as I have. You got to be goddamn Buck Martinez. You got to be Keegan Matheson. You got to be May to watch more pitches than I have. So that's how much investment I put in the goddamn team. Not goddamn. And I'm just saying, everybody, go back to 16 and 20. Hi, my name is Cruz. End of story. And what was I saying then? Come on, I was not bending. So to get that far, was I glad? Was I nervous as fuck for those last 2 games watching? Oh no! And it happened? Look I'm still not happy, bro. What did I compare it to? Let's put it in, I'll put it on this. It on scales of like when a game crushes you at a scale of 10. Okay, 16 is the Detroit Lions 30 minutes from the Super Bowl up by 17. That was, okay, just to put you on level, this wasn't quite there. So I'll put this at about the Habs losing with Carey Price in Game 7 in Boston. They went on to win the Stanley Cup.
Oh, 2011? Yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That was overtime, too, Game 7.
Just don't even bribe. Do you have to remind myself? Oh.
No, because, hey, the Leafs had some bad losses, too.
Okay, I agree, but I'm
Game
just
7
saying.
in Florida last year, that was pretty heartbreaking.
My son, bless his soul, he can hear me. He goes, Dad, I finally hear you. Let me tell you this. I just put a Toronto team loss in the same pantheon as I talked about the Montreal Canadiens and the Detroit Lions. Do you know who Ja Cruz is? Do you know who Ja Cruz is? I just said
aware.
I put Toronto team loss on the pantheon of Montreal Canadiens and the Detroit Lions.
Very huge Blue Jays fan, so I don't
That's no. I got to turn the page in that. I am a Toronto Blue Jay disciple.
There we go, then.
That's just what I'm saying. So everybody out there, that's why I was not here last week. Let's just say this. One of the greatest World Series of all time, and it still stings, bro. It still goddamn well stings.
Shows that you're a sports fan.
100%.
Jays fan.
And anyone that tells me I'm not going to be invested in a team anymore, listen, it did not pay for the new flat tire we got on the car last night. It did not do anything to my new bill that I'm getting from Rogers, and it didn't buy me a beer. But I'm still going to watch the same way next year.
There we go.
You know what I mean?
So, obviously, people are talking about this as one of the best World Series of all time. I kind of wrote down a few that I thought could kind of hang in there. So 91,
Good.
obviously.
91, yeah.
Twins, Braves.
Yeah.
93, Blue Jays, Phillies. That one didn't go 7, but you had the crazy 15-14 game.
And the walk-off
And the
grand
walk-off
slam.
home. Well, it was a 3-run shot.
I mean, but the walk-off, yeah. For home run. Yeah, that's why you always got to put that there because it's what only happened twice in the history of baseball.
Yeah, him and Bill Mazeroski.
Yeah.
97, the Cleveland, Florida one, which Game 7 went to the 11th inning as well.
Yes, Mammoth, yeah. Cleveland had another.
Cleveland blew it there,
yes,
too.
Yes, they did. And not only that, it was Alomar was playing for that team by then, right?
I believe so. Or was he still with Baltimore at that time?
Yeah, he was still with Baltimore. Yeah, we hadn't got there yet. Yeah, you're right.
01, the Arizona, New York one.
That's epic.
Game.
Epic.
New York, Mariano Rivera blowing the save in that one, too.
Oh, you know, he says that's the worst loss of his career. Worst blown save of his career.
That would have been 4 in a row for the Yankees, too, after 9/11.
Yes.
Yeah.
4 in a row, which we'll probably never see. Well, we don't know. Got Dodgers out, too.
I don't know, but they got a little bit of a way to go. 2016, the Cubs versus Cleveland one.
Was a great one. I agree, too.
That was another one where that went to extra innings, too, didn't it?
And Chicago was down 3-2.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, and they came back. Bellinger was on that team.
A lot of people thought Cleveland was going to win the World Series.
Yes, that was another one that slipped through their hands for Cleveland.
And then 2019, the Houston-Washington one, where every road team won that game.
That was insane. That was insane.
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll ever see a World Series where every road team wins again.
Okay, so
I mean, never say never, but you know.
Okay, so I'm gonna chime in a couple because I'm an old man. Okay. I can never forget the 1975 World Series, Boston Red Sox, Cincinnati Reds, famous Carlton Fisk home run in Game 6. Okay, the 1981 World Series, St. Louis and Minnesota.
82.
82, yeah. St. Louis, Milwaukee went to Game 7. I think went an extra inning. Every game was played insane. Every game was just unfreaking believable. That stands up there as one of my most significant.
Was that when Hernandez was on St. Louis or before he got there?
No, he was there too, and he was at World Series. He got the World Series there, and he got the World Series with the Mets. Yeah. I think that was it was year before that. I think he was even an MVP candidate. And there's one other one that I had in mind. Pittsburgh beating Baltimore in 1979, being down 3-2.
We are family pirates.
Yeah, that was an outstanding World Series. There was some other crazy ones when I was younger that I don't know as much because I always loved when Baltimore lost. Okay, I always love when Baltimore lost.
That's one thing we can agree on. We have no love for the Baltimore Orioles.
Well, here's something very ironic, and I can end my baseball talk on this. When I was very, very young, I don't have to tell you the history of my life, but there was 2 things that happened that someone was so influential on my life. They made me a Montreal Canadian fan, and they've also made me a Bob Gibson fan. My first favorite baseball player. 1968 World Series is considered one of the greatest of all time. The Tigers are down 3-1. Mickey Lolich pitched 3 complete games. Bill Freehand blocked a plate when Lou Brock come in instead of sliding and put his foot down, and it was game 7. And I was sad because Bob Gibson lost. And look, I ended up growing up being a Detroit Tiger fan, morphed into a.
I was going to say, how much of that World Series do you remember? 68.
I just remember that Bob Gibson and Mickey Lolich were striking everybody out. Like, what was I? 68, so I was 9 years old. I'm watching 9 years old. Oh, I remember Bob Gibson. He struck out one game, 18 guys? It was the first time we're all watching it on a color TV. Someone got a new color TV, I guess, whatever. But yeah, that was a huge game. Everyone was watching it. And then Mickey Lolich, the chunky guy, come out. I think he pitched 3.
That's
insane.
insane.
He pitched 3 complete games in the World Series. I think Bob Gibson pitched 2 and went 7 in another. And but one of the games, I think the record for strikeouts in the World Series was Bob Gibson's, was 18. I'm pretty sure 17 or 18. And Denny McLain was pitching, and he was a 31-game winner that year. And he's a footnote in the World Series. That's how it goes.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Anyways, I love baseball.
One more thing for baseball. Murakami, the big Japanese slugger, looks like he's going to be on his way to the major leagues. I do not see him signing with the Blue Jays, but I could see him signing with the Yankees. He strikes out a lot, so he'd fit in well with that lineup.
I like your thinking. Can I just say one thing, guys? We're getting a little long in the tooth. We're going to end the show with the baseball thing, but I'm going to say one more thing out there. Everybody that's listening and listening really closely. Everyone's asking me, what are the Toronto Blue Jays going to do next year? I don't know. It's a new season. It's a new journey. It's a new time.
Run it back.
Okay, but I'm going to tell you this.
6-man rotation. Let's go.
We're going to have that debate. We don't have time for that right now. But I'm just going to say, anybody out there that now realizes that Toronto is not a poor cousin, got more money than anybody out there, including the Dodgers, including Seattle and Philly, all those teams, there is a whole bunch of people that have decided to opt out of contract or suddenly become free agents that are out there. What should we run it back? I'll tell you how should we run it back. Let's keep Schneider and Lukes, okay, as that platoon. Clement has earned his stay. They might not ascend, they might ascend, they might fall back a bit, but none of these guys are old, so we can expect the same season from them.
Well, the platoon, I don't know how that's going to work with Santander playing every day.
We'll figure that out, okay? So we don't want this new Japanese player that's coming over because he would clutter the dugout. We can't have Springer expecting to have the same season he had this season, but if he has a comparable one, fine with that.
I mean, this was a career season for Springer.
No doubt about it. So then we got to re-sign Bo, and then we got to, and Vladdy's already under contract. We know Barger's going to play more, and we got to keep Varsho and Gimenez in every game, regardless if they're going to percentages of hit, because their defensive prowess is so much the character of this team. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, let's go out and buy every motherfucking pitcher that I see out there. I don't care if we overpay, underpay. You know what I mean? Give them a tree company burying trees job. I don't give a flying fuck. We are the Toronto Blue Jays. We are run by Rogers. I'm not going to go through names. We'll do that for next week's show. Who I think we should go get. We'll do a little Blue Jays. But anybody that's a baseball fan out there, and Paul Semenuk and Kevin Pick, you know what I'm talking about. And Chris Ray, if you're listening, go out there and see the pitching that's out there. Buy a bag load, and we go back. We're a challenger for the World Series going into spring training, not a team that went from 5th to 1st.
You know what? Forget that. You know what pitcher I want?
How do you say his name again?
Imanaga. Left-handed star from Cleveland. Let's go.
How much would it cost us?
Doesn't matter.
If Screwball goes on the market, shouldn't we be in the door?
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know, but let's just remember this, people, and everybody says, yeah.
If you're Detroit, why wouldn't you pay him?
You'd be nuts not to. Come on. Okay, come on, Tigers, do it just because I still like you Tigers. But here's the deal, all right? Remember this, everybody, when you talk about what goes on here. Soto. Who was the last person in the room besides the Mets?
We talked about this, the Blue Jays. We're running long. The Blue Jays are not to be underestimated when it comes to free agents.
So you agree buy every pitcher we can get our hands on?
Let's do it.
We got it. Let's go.
So we're getting to the closing of the show here. So RIP to Paul Tagliabue, just passing away right now, former NFL commissioner from 89 to 06?
Yes, very good. Very good. He was the one that started making us transition, so to speak. Is that the word?
I don't know.
Yeah,
you tell me. You know the history. 06, that's about when I started getting into football. So
06, yeah, he was good. He had his time. He he did something to do with the performance-enhancing stuff, didn't he?
Again, you tell me.
Yeah,
my football history, that's the one I know the least about. It's my biggest blind spot.
But he was in there, and they said that sometimes that he let things slide because after the strike, we needed to come back. So he sometimes, or he tried to clean it up afterwards because they made a mess of it. Let things go a little bit too far. But that's another story for another time.
So no trivia today, but what sporting event are you looking forward to the most this week? Mine's on the top right now. I'm going to rush home to edit and watch this. New England, Tampa Bay.
I think that's going to be a good one too. You know what? Everything that I'm looking at right now, I'm looking forward to because I'm probably not going to leave this spot except to walk Stanley for the next 10 hours. But rough life, eh? There's your boys.
I know, brutal.
You're on up there.
I know, there we go.
That's going to be one of the games. Isn't this just like, before you go, isn't this just a great way to start your day? I'm going to end the show, and I get to adjust 4 screens. Oh, what do I watch today? I don't know. Let's Buffalo, Miami.
Why not?
We're not going to watch the Jets or the Giants and the Bears. There's got to be a better game than that, isn't
There's
there?
plenty of 1 o'clock games. Anyways, thank you very much for listening. Last week's episode was our highest viewed ever on YouTube.
Thank you.
Thank you for everyone who liked, everyone who watched, everyone who commented.
Pause. By the way, most respect to my accomplice here, because that was the show that he handled by himself under very ridiculous bad times. Good job, buddy.
Thank you very
Proud
much.
of you.
I'm Andrew Milani.
Hi, my name is Cruz.
And what do we do?
We keep the vibe alive.
Do you have a question? We'll answer it on the air. Send it to thehousethathappens@gmail.com. You can find us on Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, Player FM, Podchaser, Boomplay, and SoundCloud. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The House That Happens, and on X at House Happens.